Hello. It's just afternoon, and that means it's time for the Annie Frey Show.
I always want to say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's morning somewhere.
Say good morning to the mountain time people.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Mountain Time.
All right.
Good morning, Pacific.
YouTube poll is asking, should Donald Trump participate in the GOP debates? Yes or no?
Love that question.
That's a really good one. At 12:25, Hans von Spakovsky is going to join us. 12:45, you want to talk about what's in Wiggins America?
Sure, yeah. I'm going to be doing a segment that's called What The, as in, what the heck, because all the stories that I'm bringing are things that are going to make you scratch your head, see if you agree with them. Some of them are kind of ridiculous, some are political, all over the board. They all have that common theme to them.
Of what the?
What the?
Blankety blank. 105, we are planning to connect with Tyrus.
Yesterday's pre-show was a little bit of a what the.
Yeah, big what the.
Yeah, if you were here, man, I want to go back and watch that. I forgot to do that.
I need to. At 2:25, we're going to switch it up. Usually, Trisha comes in the studio to do Annie, Are You Okay? But today, we're going to have Anna fill in for Trisha. And so, Anna's going to be asking Annie. That is a tongue twister. Wow.
Oh, trust me, when it's Annie, Anna, Hannah.
Well, every time I walk, Hannah and Anna sit right next to each other.
Yeah.
And every time I walk up, I have to stop and actively think, who's who here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What words are coming out of my mouth?
Like
people mix it up every single day.
Name, so it's harder to confuse with my name. We can make him Chad. We have Chad and Brad.
Brian. Wait, no. Brad and Ryan are not that close. They do kind of flow
That's
though.
why we need to change it.
Yeah. To be closer.
Yeah. So Chad and Brad.
All right. 12:25, Hans.
Yeah. Just roll, and I'm fine with it. I don't even question. I'm just like, oh well, I guess that's the way it's got to be. Okay.
12:25, Hans. 12:45, Wiggins America with What The. 105, Tyrus. 2:25, Annie, Are You Okay?
All right, and the YouTube poll is going to be really good today. There's a lot of nuance to that, so leave comments.
Every day, Ryan.
Sometimes I'm like, this is terrible. But you never know it, because every day I'm like, this is a great one. But I'm not lying today.
Okay.
I promise.
That sounds like the way I would talk if I were lying.
Looks like a lot of you are asking the
this
question.
This could go either way. That's why it's...
I'm talking about something totally different now.
Obviously,
we're getting a question about pooping in the park today. We have the blinds down.
Yeah.
I was actually sick yesterday, so I'm not even going to look. That ruined my whole afternoon.
Yeah, it did.
I'm not looking.
If we see somebody pooping today, somehow they're floating up to the the floor here.
That will be during Wiggins America's What The segment.
Yeah. Hey, look out the window. There's a guy flying and pooping.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right, we're good.
All right.
Home, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty on your side, fighting for every dollar for you. Check out thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
We spent every day from February on trying to get schools open. We knew that remote education was not a substitute for opening schools, but we also knew that people had to be safe. And maybe it's because I live in New York City, I live near a hospital. Every other minute there was an ambulance. There was terror. Our members were terrified, others were terrified. And what we were simply looking for was clear scientific guidance. And when we couldn't get it, We did it ourselves, and we worked with doctors and we worked with others, and we just tried to get it out there.
We were looking for clear scientific evidence, and when we couldn't get it, we did it ourselves.
We made it up.
Holy crap. Who the hell are you, Randy Weingarten? My apologies for my language here, but good grief. Thanks for saying it out loud, though, because we've known this for a while. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy to have you here with us. Beautiful Thursday afternoon outside. It's chilly, 58 degrees right now. It's supposed to rain. Have you been on the forecast? What's it going to be like in O'Fallon tonight?
Tonight, I don't know.
I need it to rain.
It has to be a lot of rain because if it
just has to rain during the game time.
Yeah, because there's turf fields out there.
I know. I've got a mom conflict tonight. The 6-year-old has a spring concert, and the son has a baseball game. And we don't miss many baseball games, but I try so hard not to miss them. I hate missing them. I have 4 kids. I'm probably going to have to get used to splitting time pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I'm praying for rain, as they say in Bull Durham. I don't know if I can make an event like that happen, though. If I'm missing in the 1 o'clock hour, you'll know what I'm doing. Flooding the field.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't they run out and turn the sprinklers on in Bull Durham to get a rain day?
Yes, and then they screwed the field up. I'm looking right now. That's in St. Louis. I need to know. If anybody has any intel or any sway with the weather gods, pray for rain. I've been paying attention to how across the board right now people are reacting to, on a political level, on the narrative level, how people are reacting to COVID. I've noticed a lot of people right now are going through a bit of revisionist history when it comes to what took place, when, and why. Now, a lot of you will listen to, I saw Megyn Kelly put out a tweet, and she said something like, you kept our kids out of school for 2 years because of this.
Yeah.
And all of the comments are, I didn't keep my kids out of school. Well, you have to understand that the reality exists in certain places. Government is so big and so powerful that there were children at the hands of overpowering Democrats and bureaucrats like Randy Weingarten, who said they were looking for science, and when they couldn't find it, they did it themselves. Huh? And she's saying this out loud under oath, like, as if we're supposed to go, oh, well, that makes sense. I understand that. I don't understand that. And it can't be okay. And I'm not saying that we have to go out and crucify Randy Weingarten because of the decision she made, but she should absolutely be held accountable for them. And if the lesson to learn here is one where we boldly together across the aisle say never again. We need to have these conversations out loud, because if we don't, we are going to be put in a position where something is going to happen again, and we're all going to say, I said it, because I never lived through anything like a pandemic. Before I was a 17-year-old when September 11th, 2001 happened. So I remember that vividly with my own memory. Nobody's had to teach me the history of that event like I've had to be taught so many other historical events that have formed and shaped our country, good and bad. September 11th was something I lived, and I will have to tell the story of that to my kids, which I have, and they learn about it each year. The pandemic, my kids have lived that. They're going to understand the pandemic from their own eyes for the rest of their life. They will have children who will say, hopefully, because it hasn't happened again by the time my kids have kids, and I'll be a grandma. That sounds fun. They'll have to say, what was it? Did you really not go to school? I hope that to my grandchildren seems outrageous. But if we don't call this type of stuff out, if we're not aggressive about looking at what happened, what we knew, and how we snap judgment, reacted, and turned over our freedom and liberty and trusted it in the hands of government, because that's really what we did. And I'm not excusing myself from this. You could go pull the tapes. They're all there from, I was broadcasting this live as it was happening. And there was so much that we didn't know. You want to be able to trust your government to have your best interest at heart when something like this happens. But good grief, what example have they provided to us that they're interested in what's best for us and not what is best for their own personal growth, their own acquiring of power and snatching of liberty, so that they can provide us the things that they deem that we need? Let's go north, shall we? Listen to Trudeau.
Any modern bit of medical advancements, there are potential side effects in vaccinations. And there are people who've probably gotten very sick from vaccinations.
He sounds like he's under pressure to say that.
A little bit.
Like it hurts to say that. Here's more.
While not forcing anyone to get vaccinated, I chose to make sure that all the incentives and all the protections were there to encourage Canadians to get vaccinated. And that's exactly what they did. We got vaccinated to a higher level than just about any other of our peer countries. And that's why we had a less deadly pandemic than most other countries.
All right. One more time from Mr. Trudeau from the top here. What did he say here?
While not forcing anyone.
Well, not forcing anyone. Let's take a step back to February 2022.
I can understand frustrations with mandates, but mandates are the way to avoid further restrictions or having to be restricted. As people get vaccinated, as Canadians have gotten vaccinated, we've been able to get through things. And this team is going to stay focused on doing exactly that.
He's a liar or a politician, one or the other. One of the other.
Why not both?
Why not both? Not every politician is a liar. We see it with our own eyes. The hypocrisy is there. And the truth is, anybody who has any cognitive ability on their own understands that if you're going to take any type of medical intervention or procedure, there are always risks with, and you take a Tylenol, there's some sort of risk that is assessed that goes along with that, but you weigh the risks yourself and you make decisions. I'm not pro or anti-vaccine really ever. And I've never on this show talked about if I've had COVID, when I've had COVID, how many times I've had COVID, if I've escaped COVID, if I've had the vaccine. I have never discussed that on the air because it's not any of your business. And I never, ever, ever wanted to influence a single one of you to make a decision for yourself based on a medical decision I made for myself. That seems very silly because your conditions and your situation are entirely different than mine. And if our situations were 100% carbon copy exactly the same, you need to flex your freedom arm to make the decision for yourself. I have absolutely zero business coming on this show saying you need to get this or you need to not get this. I don't want that on my conscience. It's not mine to have. That is your power to exercise, your freedom, your liberty to take on yourself. Was it Chicago that just found out, like, anybody who lost their job, or wasn't there a bunch of law enforcement that just got back pay?
Yeah, I think that did happen in Chicago.
At least some police officers in Chicago are getting paid. When you listen to Randy Weingarten talking about what they have done, the influence that they're not the NEA, they're the AFT.
AFT.
The AFT, which is, it's funny to me. I remember when President Biden, I bet I could find the sound. He was talking about, he named a new head of the ATF. And when he did, this might be it. Let me see if this is it. I don't know.
The AR is the most popular semi-automatic rifle in the country.
Yeah, no, it's not it. He was announcing the new ATF person, but he kept saying the new AFT person. I thought he was referring to, what is that? Arms,
alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
That's right. Not the teachers union. It's like a little bit, very much so, different groups of people. And he was getting that wrong. And I remember hearing, I Googled, like, who's the president of the AFT, and it was Randy Weingarten. I thought it was a man. And then I learned a lot more about Randy Weingarten. I was like, oh, this is different. We experienced as parents what it was like to have our kids home. If you had a family that was 2 working parents, you know the hell you had to go through in order to figure out how your kids were going to be educated at home while you did your job while you were at home working from home, while the kids were supposed to be learning from home, you know that at the end of the day, you were just trying to make it through. You were just trying to get through that day. You are not in a position to educate these kids. That's not what you're there for. It really did impact greatly, in my opinion, the crossover that exists in the authority that a parent should bring in the relationship with the kid and the authority that a teacher should bring with a kid. Brad, you spent a lot of time substitute teaching, and teachers are really that first line of outside the home authority that kids need to learn to respect.
Yeah, for sure. You were talking about like it's hard to delineate the line. Well, it's not really for you to delineate that line. The teacher needs to understand what their role and responsibility is.
But they should control their classroom.
They should control their classroom, but they should view themselves as a partner to the parent, not a substitute or there to take the place of the parent. It's the same way in youth ministry. I understand that these are other people's children, and my job is to assist them in creating mature adults.
Right. And the idea is that as a subtext of the parent. Police officers are out there to help you, societally keep us in the boundaries. You have religious leaders who are there to do that as well. You have, if you're going to shop at a grocery store and there is a person working in the grocery store and a kid is misbehaving and somebody at the grocery store says something in the relation that they have to the store to say, could you please not blah, blah, blah. Like there still needs to be this respect for authority that just does not exist anymore the way it used to.
Oh, yeah, not at all. It's actually really bad.
There are instances in classrooms across this country right now where I'm praying, I should probably pray a better prayer, but I'm praying that there is a window of kids that go through school and they just kind of have the COVID scarlet letter on them. They lost a formative portion of their years in education, and they're just going to be different kids. But I'm hoping that these kids who are coming into early childhood and first grade, and my daughter's in first grade right now. They were only, because they go to a Lutheran school, they didn't do what the public school did as far as staying and learning from home. They were home from mid-March, when everybody went home through the end of the year. And then they were back in school that following August. But they had masks on. They did the social distancing thing. They were trying to do everything they could to comply, but still get these kids back in the classroom. And you put masks on kids. I mean, she had a mask on her face when she was in kindergarten. That sucks. How do you teach kids how to read when the kids can't see the teacher's face? And they did everything they could to. I was so proud of the way the school pushed to be as normal as they possibly could and be in the classroom when other public schools weren't. You want to talk about privilege? Just the fact that my kids happen to be in a Lutheran school because we prioritize that in our family. We make the sacrifices necessary to afford that for our family. Those kids who are in public school should not be underprivileged because they're in public school. And kids who sat out for even longer, even if you spent a couple months out of school, that is still a great disadvantage to those children's learning. The public school system was held back so much. And the question is why? What scientific evidence did they have to put this out there, to make these decisions? What scientific evidence were they basing these decisions on? And you just have to listen to Randy Weingarten.
We spent every day from February on trying to get schools open. We knew that remote education was not a substitute for opening schools, but we also knew that people had to be safe. And maybe it's because I live in New York City, I live near a hospital. Every other minute there was an ambulance. There was terror. Our members were terrified, others were terrified. And what we were simply looking for was clear scientific guidance. And when we couldn't get it, we did it ourselves. And we worked with doctors and we worked with others, and we just tried to get it out there.
When they couldn't get scientific evidence, they did it themselves. And if you listen to Randy Weingarten there, her influence on these decisions when they couldn't get scientific evidence was influenced by her proximity to a hospital because she lives in New York City. So kids in the city of St. Louis and in the Metro East were having to live under the overlording of the AFT. Now I've got ATF in my head. Of the AFT to keep these kids out of the classroom because Randy Weingarten was full of terror because she was hearing a lot of ambulances next to the hospital she lived in New York City. My goodness. Do not ever let these people have this kind of power again. Ever. We're going to take a quick break. Hans von Spakovsky is going to join us on the Annie Frey Show. We're going to talk a little bit about Hunter Biden. His lawyers have met with the DOJ. Who set that up? Why are they there? What's going to come from this? Is the Hunter Biden story a political scandal that the GOP is propping up? Or is there some fire behind that smoke? No pun intended. We'll be right back.
Told myself that you were right for me, but felt so lonely in your company. But that was love and to make us still remember.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
So let's talk about Water Sweet Soap Company. Man, I love this place so much. I just went there last week. I actually went there on my birthday, and I went to get their salt body bar. This is something new that I wasn't talking about in the winter when we were talking about Water Sweet Soap Company for Christmas. And I've found it since then. Now, if you're somebody who is working, sweating, exercising, and you need that skin cleansed, maybe you have some, I don't know, acne or some bumps or some abrasions that come up on your skin and you need to really clear it. This salt bar, it has none of that extra crap in it, but it cleanses, and it is a special kind of clean. I get it for my daughter, who's an athlete, and it works fantastically. When we run out, we get to Water Sweets, and we get ourselves a new bar. What better gift for mom coming up if you're looking for something that's nice and easy, a nice gift basket from Water Sweet Soap Company. They have unique, handcrafted, just wonderful smelling, clean items for you to choose. So soap, sugar scrub, energy sugar scrub, that's what I recommend, and a whole different array of items for you to choose from. Go in there and ask them about Annie's favorites, and they'll point out some of the things that are my favorite things to get at Water Sweets Soap Company. If you are looking for something, they have a store in O'Fallon. They have a store in Edwardsville, and you can shop online right now. Use promo code Annie and save 10%. WaterSweetSoap.com.
Hi, guys. It's Mark with Pineview Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. Our wave technology is backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now, and not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but it's free to those who call in the next 2 minutes. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
Thinking of selling your house, but you don't want to deal with repairs, cleaning, realtors, photos, and showings? With Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com, you don't have to do any repairs or pay any commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris will give you a fair cash offer without any inspections, showings, or other headaches. That's 314-782-8000. At Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, beautiful houses, fixer-uppers, in any condition, as is. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com provides you the easiest sell possible and will assist you in every step of the way. If you want to sell and have any questions, please call 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000 and get the offer you've been waiting for.
Eric Clapton is coming to St. Louis September 12th, and we have your chance to win tickets. Now through May 7th, for each hour you listen to 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app, you'll be entered to win. All you have to do is log in and listen. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We are very happy that you're spending some of your Thursday afternoon with us. Thanks for being here. A reminder, if you're watching us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, if you haven't gone there yet, we want you to vote in today's YouTube live chat poll. Should Donald Trump participate in GOP debates? Yes or no? You go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and in the live chat portion of today's live video, you can vote yes or no and leave a comment as to why you voted the way you did. Let's get to our guest.
We the people of the United States.
More perfect.
Your form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Well, Hans is fitting us into his very busy day. He's going to testify here in a little bit. And so we are grateful, Hans, for your time. Thanks for being here with us.
Well, sure. Thanks for having me. I'm actually standing in a hearing room at the Longworth House Office building waiting for the hearing to start.
What can you talk to us about what your presence there today is for and give us a little lowdown?
Sure. It's the House Administration Committee, and that's the committee that deals with election issues. And the hearing today is basically on what can states do to improve the fairness, honesty of their elections, and is there anything the federal government can or should do to help them achieve that?
Well, my very rudimentary understanding of the Constitution says that the states should be the ones handling the elections, and I've heard Democrats talking about how we should federalize our elections. What are your thoughts on the responsibility of the state in this process to take ownership of their own elections and where the federal government can step in or should not step in?
Well, the Democrats are talking about imposing mandates on the states, and that's not what I'm talking about, and that's not, I don't think, the intention of the Republicans who now chair the committee. States have 100% authority over running their elections, but the federal government can help them. And I'll give you just two quick examples. Look, you have to be a citizen to be able to vote in both state and federal elections. Well, who's got the biggest database in the country of aliens in the United States? Well, it's the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And they, the feds, ought to force DHS to make its database available to state officials so they can check the citizenship status of people who are registered to vote. I mean, that's just one thing. A second thing is, listen, I'm sure lots of folks in your audience have been called for jury duty, right?
Sure.
In the federal courts. Well, where do folks think the federal courts get their lists of jurors? They go to state election officials and say, can you send us your voter registration list? Well, when folks are called for jury duty, one of the things they have to do is certify that they are a U.S. citizen. And if not, they're excused from jury duty. Well, right now, federal courts don't send that information back to state election officials, which is just stupid. And again, this is a thing where Congress ought to mandate that federal courts, when they get jury information indicating that somebody is not a U.S. citizen, or perhaps they say, oh, well, I don't live in Missouri anymore, I've moved to Illinois, that information ought to go back to election officials so they can take that person off the voter registration list.
Well, it's well thought out, and of course it would be from you. We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky. You've got a book called Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. Our listeners can check that out now and learn about how our process of voting has changed over the years and educate yourself on that. Like I said, I don't want to take too much of your time right now, and I did want to ask you about Hunter Biden. We're seeing, Donald Trump, the leading candidate on the Republican side, has a lot of legal trouble. He's been indicted. We've heard from Georgia that indictment charges are potentially going to come this summer. So there's a lot of legal trouble over there that the former president is going to have to get through. The current president's son has his lawyers meeting with the DOJ. What is your take right now on the status of Hunter Biden and his legal concerns?
Well, I'm concerned over the fact that the U.S. attorney investigating this has had this case for years. And I don't understand what has taken him so long to investigate this. And it particularly concerns me when we now have an IRS supervisory agent, a whistleblower, saying that they got enough evidence for him to be indicted and prosecuted, and political decisions have been made not to do that. I assume that his lawyers are meeting with the Justice Department, one, because they want to know what is the status of the investigation. I don't know if they're trying to negotiate some kind of settlement of the potential case, given that so far politics seems to have prevented the Justice Department from doing what it should be doing. I suspect they probably aren't interested in the settlement, but just want to find out what the status is of the investigation because it's been going on for so long.
Yeah. Hans, if he's been under investigation, I mean, Hunter Biden was under investigation when Congress was impeaching President Trump for the Zelensky phone call. And there were people who knew about these investigations but weren't at liberty, I suppose, is my understanding, to talk about that in this process. But the threat from the left was saying the only reason Donald Trump was having this phone call with President Zelensky was because the president of the United States, Donald Trump, was trying to disparage and dig up dirt on Joe Biden and his family. If these investigations have been going on into Hunter Biden for so long, are there statute of limitations that could manifest themselves over the course of time if they drag it out? Or does the investigation itself say, no, it's that the statute of limitations don't apply?
No, in fact, statute of limitations do apply. And that's why the longer they wait, the greater the chances that the statute of limitations runs. And then once that statute runs, it doesn't matter how guilty you are, the government can't prosecute you.
Unless you're Donald Trump. Then you can cock something and change the charges. So last question before we let you go. We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky. He's a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. When it comes to the charges that Hunter Biden is facing, I hear a lot of people concerned that the depth of his wrongdoing is way bigger than maybe a bad gun charge or maybe some tax evasion, that there are collusions with other country to enrich himself based on his father's name. Where do you see these legal troubles for Hunter Biden at this moment? Are we getting any closer to the big stuff?
Well, the IRS agent's involvement tells you that they were looking at him for potential tax evasion. And while people might not think, oh, that's a big deal given everything else he did, don't forget that's what got Al Capone into federal prison. They're also apparently looking at him for potential money laundering, also potential violation of a federal law that requires you to register if you are working for and lobbying for foreign governments, which he obviously was doing. These statutes all carry potential criminal penalties, so they're all pretty serious.
Yeah, it'll be an exciting few months in really all the depressing ways. Hans, thank you for fitting us into your afternoon. We appreciate it. Good luck with your testimony. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky, the senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, plus former FEC commissioner and author of the book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. I have a few fun theories, Brad. One of them is that Joe Biden has to stay the president to pardon his son.
That's a solid theory.
And the waiting on announcing is kind of a toe in the water for where's this look like it's going. Would another Democrat pardon Hunter Biden? I don't think so.
No, I mean, no.
Not until they had no political campaigns left.
Well, yeah, and the thing about that is that would be devastating to their political careers because it would definitely look like, hey, we're just circling the wagons and protecting our own. This guy was, guilty. I mean, you can't pardon them until they're guilty. So, yeah, it would look very political and very, horrible for somebody to do that. So there's no way somebody else is gonna take that political risk for Joe Biden.
The other theory is that Kamala Harris, if I were Kamala Harris and I were going to be taken off the ticket, I would have a lot of requirements. I would have a lot of demands.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she gets booted off the ticket and it is a non-friendly departure, she could do a ton of damage. Mm-hmm. A monumental amount of damage to Joe Biden, to the Democrat Party, and to the ticket and their chances in 2024. If she has, I just don't know that she's going to be the person, if Joe Biden wins the nomination and is the person people are voting for. I think she's the biggest liability. It's not just Joe Biden's age. If you really loved Joe Biden's VP, if you really love them, you would be even more in favor of voting for Joe Biden for re-election, because you would know that the VP, if the VP was your guy or your girl, and you knew Joe Biden may at any time, doesn't have to, pass away and be 82 when he took office. But if he decided, or if people decided you are not up for this job anymore, then the vice president becomes a president, which means you're kind of getting to vote for two presidents. Mm-hmm. And I'm just throwing Gavin Newsom out there because he's the person who tends to be at the top of the conversation for Democrats. If Joe Biden put Gavin Newsom on his ticket, and if on that ticket, 6 months into Joe Biden's second term, he steps down, Gavin Newsom can still run twice. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of Gavin Newsom.
That's too much Gavin Newsom.
You don't have that. It is not a strength on the ticket if that's Kamala Harris. It is a massive weakness to a lot of Democrat voters and a lot of moderates who may not. Just because you don't vote for that ticket, part of the ticket, does not mean that you go over and vote for Trump or DeSantis or Asa Hutchinson. But if Kamala Harris is the vice president, I think it is a gigantic liability for the Democrats. And so I think that if they told her, listen, we can kick you off this ticket or you can step down, I would have some demands. And the first would be that it looks like it's her choice, which means you launch the campaign, Biden-Harris. And if you look at the video, from what I understand, she's all over the video, but is her name on anything? Does it say Biden-Harris 2024?
Maybe.
There isn't a lot out there right now that is Biden-Harris.
Right.
It's Biden 2024, whatever. So I believe that if she were to step down, she would be able to go do what she wants to do, where she wants to do it afterwards. She would have that all worked out. Then they'd be able to put somebody in. It would seem amicable. And that, if that is timed right, would be a massive boost for the Democrat ticket in this election. In fact, I think it would happen post-nominations. She would ride it out. She would be the vice president through this term. And I think she would say she would be stepping down after so she'd serve her 4 years. I don't think Kamala Harris is going to be on this ticket when it come election day.
Yeah, I think she's a liability. Now, I'm hearing other people say the exact opposite. They're saying that Joe Biden is just the Trojan horse to get her into office. Basically, he's going to get elected, and within...
I don't think that there are enough people who like her to be able to have that type of influence. But I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well,
leave her on the ticket by all means.
If she was that likable, Joe Biden wouldn't have to run, and she could just run on her own and get elected. So, are they doing it as a play to say, hey, look, we've got the first female president, and they were a Democrat? Is that the play? I don't know. I see her as a liability. I mean, I see a lot of people across the spectrum dragging her, joking on her, making fun of her. They don't think she's a serious person, and I do. Especially if your candidate's going to be in their mid-80s, basically, during their presidency, should they get elected, she is one breath away from the White House, and even closer when you consider the age of Joe Biden.
Yeah. Well, we'd love to know what you think about that. Also, the YouTube live chat poll for today, should Donald Trump participate in GOP debates? Yes or no? Can't wait to hear what you think about this one. We'll discuss it throughout the course of this show today and get your feedback as well. But you just go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel in the live chat portion of today's live broadcast. You can vote yes or no. When we come back, Wiggins America has got some stories that are going to make you go, what the? And we'll find out what they are in just a minute. Don't go away.
This guitar sound like a chainsaw buzz.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Closet Factory, like your fairy godmothers who come into your house and just magically make your house make more sense. It's happened to me, and I can't wait for it to happen again. We are going to in what was naturally the formal dining room of our house, and that sounds real fancy. It is, in fact, not fancy. There's a treadmill in there, a corner desk that has amazing amounts of first-grade art and A's on little math papers of addition, just stacked up and up and up and up. We're going to fix that. The Closet Factory came to my house and they assessed the space, and we're going to put a wall of storage and desk space for the kids to be able to sit down and do their homework in a special place instead of on my kitchen island or on the kitchen table. And it's also going to serve as storage and maybe kind of like a bar space for the next people who might own my home, multifunctional. And they came up with this whole idea, and I'm so excited to make this a reality. When the Closet Factory comes to your home, you can point out the trouble space. They'll say, don't clean up around it. I want to see where we can help you with the problems as they exist. And that can happen in your garage. Can you imagine pulling your car in your garage? I was talking to a friend the other day, and they said, we always try to put our garage door down as fast as we can because the house is really nice, but we're embarrassed about what's inside of the garage. You're going to be the guy or the gal who's sitting in your lawn chair in the garage with all the garage doors open going, yeah, you see that? See that? That's a Closet Factory. If you're interested in this custom organization, affordable from a St. Louis owned and operated business, you need to call the Closet Factory. 314-961-4300, 314-961-4300, online at closetfactory.com.
We expect our information in real time. U.S. Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. U.S. Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 800-730-8405 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check. As easy as, that's 800-730-8405.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to $7,500 on a new hybrid HVAC system and save an additional 20% when bundled with attic insulation. This is a limited time offer. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
You're listening to award-winning, thought-provoking talk. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
Your home for conservative talk.
On the air for over 20 years. This is the Annie Frey Show.
Put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24-karat magic in the air. Head to toe, so clear. Look out.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening to the Annie Frey Show.
And everyone else.
Yeah, everybody in between. I have a segment today called What The? With a whole bunch of stories that are make you go, what the?
I didn't see that coming. Oh, what was that?
Yeah. Yeah, by the way.
Speaking of, what the?
Yeah.
There's just all of a sudden surge that sounded like maybe aliens had landed. Did you hear that?
Well, that was my sounder. I think maybe he caught the end of it. Not sure.
Oh.
Yeah, so, all right.
So at least we know what the heck it was.
Yeah, we think it was. Yeah.
Oh, I just heard the moo.
There it was.
And I'm like, they're here. They're here right now. I gotta go. Bye.
All right, so that's the first one. What do you do when aliens attack and it sounds like just boom? Do you leave? And he does.
Who leaves? Aliens land. Ryan, are you going straight to the source and saying, hey, guys, let's talk?
I don't see any other choice.
Oh, I do.
I think you got to go to them.
Running to the bunker.
And say, hey, let's talk a little bit. Let's figure out what do you want? Why are you here? Because otherwise, they're just going to take all the water and they're going to leave.
I've seen Mars attacks.
Brad, this reminds me of our discussion about what to do if the EMP hits while we're at work.
Yeah. Wait, was this off air?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
This was what do we do with Wiggins?
I was going to say, I don't think I was a part of that conversation.
We go, all right, the best thing to do here, Ryan, you go negotiate. We'll be right back.
Okay. And let me tell you something. I would take that job very seriously.
That's
even
why
though you're clearly sending me out as a sacrificial lamb.
We're just going to make you go that way while we go this way.
We're just sending you out to filibuster.
Yeah. They'll change their minds. They'll leave. I promise.
Oh, hey, it's fine.
Can you imagine when they land and Ryan walks up and he goes, welcome to Wiggins America? I'll be like, nope.
That's kind of the idea. Get out ahead of it so that they know, well, who's your leader? Well, maybe he's standing right in front of you.
Yeah. This is the guy? They land on Saturday between 6 and 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we heard this was the place?
Yeah. It's being beamed out to the middle of space, so.
Ryan's massive ratings are coming from Mars.
As long as they have a meter.
Yeah. I don't think you can talk about that.
We're here for the one you call Wiggins.
That's not what we call him, but he's over there.
Welcome. This is Wiggins America. What do you think? It could be a chance, though, to reset everything.
It would definitely reset everything.
Yeah, it would.
Everything would be reset. And, and Brad and I would be running that way.
You guys would be going out the window. I'm going out the door.
We've got a plan.
All right. Here are the stories that are going to make you go, what? Anxious or depressed? It could be the French fries. A research team has linked higher risk of anxiety and depression to diets consisting of higher amounts of fried foods, most notably fried potatoes, as in French fries. If you eat more fried foods, that means you are regularly increasing your risk of anxiety by 12% and depression by 7% compared to those who don't eat fried foods at all.
I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
I mean, I have never personally felt depressed after eating French fries. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite.
But Brad, you of all people are paying attention to how much fried food you eat.
This is true.
So you are already somebody who is cautious about these things.
And I will say this, and I don't know if it's directly attributed to this, but since I've got cut way back on fried food, I mean, my mental well-being, I just am a happier person overall. So maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know.
I think that sounds like bull.
You said it.
What?
You said that the amount of fried food you eat increases your level of anxiety?
There's actually a chemical that they associate with it. It says the chemical that is formed during the frying process is called acrylamide. And researchers note the chemical is especially present in fried potatoes, and it increases anxiety and depression.
I just think that you don't really need a whole lot of science, neither does Randy Weingarten, but I digress, to identify the fact that eating a lot of fried foods is going to make you not as happy. But, yeah.
Well, what we do on the show is trust the science.
What? No, science. There's no the science. I want to eliminate that from our vocabulary.
80% of Americans believe inflation is actually corporate greed. 80% of Americans.
That's intentional, though.
But yes, the message is working. That's what makes me go, what? We're told that soaring inflation is caused by a wide range of economic factors beyond our control. But is it? A large majority of Americans believe that prices are going up just so businesses can make more money. Are you kidding me? You print $6 trillion and then it's all the businesses are just trying to make more money. I can't believe that is that high.
It's important to stress the fact that, like, when you take a guy like Bernie Sanders, who was a very proud socialist, a Democrat socialist, but the Democrat almost sounds like it's just for decoration, to understand that he would go out on a presidential campaign and talk to you about the man and wanting to help you shake your fist at the man. And if you just elect him, he will defeat the man. But he kind of conveniently leaves out the part where he becomes the man in defeating of the corporate man. When big government comes in and regulates all of these corporations, but doesn't actually fix the problem they're solving, they just change the power from the businesses to the government. A, you don't get that power back. And B, nothing changes for the people who are getting screwed by the man. And of course it's a man. Am I right, ladies?
Also, every industry that the government steps in and subsidizes, the price of that industry and products from that industry goes exponentially higher.
Yes, because then it's not about the cost of manufacturing. The subsidies are there, so they just
charge whatever they want. Higher education, healthcare,
EVs. The price of EVs are going to go way up with government
through
subsidies.
the roof. Yeah, there's huge subsidies for those right now.
Sheepdog wants to hear you speak alien. You should do the next story in Alien. This is probably offensive to aliens, but carry on.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can do this.
What?
5 $1 million lottery tickets remain unclaimed in Illinois.
This is a 1980s robot.
You're right, doggone it. You're right.
What is that? Out of this world? No, not out of this world.
Small
Wonder.
Small Wonder. La 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 la.
I love that show.
Me too. 5 people in Illinois are waking up today as millionaires, and they don't even know it. According to the Illinois Lottery, there are still 5 unclaimed lottery tickets valued at least $1 million each. They were sold in.
I saw this story and I immediately looked at the towns.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm sad.
It's disappointing.
It is.
I think they're all Chicago area.
I don't think you're listening, but if you are my favorite listener.
Me too, especially if you live in Elgin.
My favorite listener.
Because there's 2 of them.
Isn't it
Elgin?
Oh my Lord, have mercy.
Who cares?
He's speaking like an alien. How would they know?
Yeah, this alien talk. Elgin.
No Elgin here. Try Iowa.
Elgin times 2. There are 2 in Elgin, and
of
Evanston.
All of the things to not really know. Elgin?
And I don't. Where's Elgin?
In
Chicago?
Illinois, sir.
I don't. Just to the west of Chicago.
Of course.
It's not a not known town in Illinois.
It's like where all the street sweepers are made.
Never heard of this Evanston.
Clearly sending Ryan Wiggins to save the planet. Just go north past Elgin. If you don't find it, just keep going.
Wiggins America just cuts off everything north of Peoria. So I don't care.
I might learn to like this thing.
Morton Grove and Oak Forest. Good luck if you live in one of those cities or you bought a ticket there, because you might be a millionaire. Okay.
What?
A 13 million ton blob of seaweed is floating toward the Texas coast. Now, here's what's crazy about this. It says, the opening sentence is another what?
I hate seaweed.
It says, beaches in Texas are known for a lot of things, and unfortunately, sand on the shores isn't one of them.
Gross.
Somebody explain that to me. Beaches in Texas aren't known for having sand? Because it says, the next sentence, the summer...
beaches are full of shells and rocks.
Well, this one says, this summer we can expect something else to appear on the shores of the Lone Star State seaweed. This huge 13 million ton blob of seaweed is expected to hit Texas right in the middle of tourist season.
Have you been in the ocean before?
Yeah.
Have you been in the ocean
yeah.
before? Have you ever had where there's that row of seaweed
Yes.
if you go
Yeah.
out? Have you ever gotten in that?
Yeah. I was just going to say that there is nothing more unsettling than to be swimming and kick some seaweed or something and it wraps around your leg.
Anything, not just seaweed. If I touch anything with my feet in the water, I will scream like a woman.
Sexism.
But what is a woman, though? You know? We were just talking about that.
I bet you just scream like Ryan Wiggins.
And people go, now that is something that sounds kind of feminine.
Tyrus, probably. When we come back, don't go away.
So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Having an advocate who is working with government, not somebody you elect, but somebody who is understanding who you are and what matters to you in the representation that you have in your government is important. Of course, having those people in office is fantastic as well. If you live in Illinois like I do, there aren't a whole lot of people who represent the way I feel about politics in our General Assembly at this time. The Illinois Family Institute is an institution that is out there advocating their mission to boldly bring biblical perspectives to public policy. Now, when you have somebody who is pushing and researching and cultivating these ideas and using their influence on legislators to hear the voices of other people who may not be heard as much, I think that's a fantastic thing. They promote pro-life, pro-family, pro-religious liberty and small government policies at the Capitol in Springfield. Be a part of their newsletter. Sign up for their email alerts. It's all on IllinoisFamily.org. Sign up at IllinoisFamily.org.
This is it. The final days, the final hours of Diamonds Direct's amazing one-year spring store-wide sale. Everyone's loving this, but time is running out. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to take advantage of 20% savings on virtually everything. Big trunk shows all weekend with designers in-store. Save an extra 20% off rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, even engagement ring mountings. It's the biggest and best store-wide event all year with expanded hours this weekend, including open Sunday. Get all the details now at DiamondsDirect.com.
Hi, this is Andy Berg, board-certified master arborist with Hanson's Tree Service. Leaving your ash trees unprotected from the emerald ash borer may lead to an unforeseen rapid decline in their health. Go to hansonstree.com to find out how we can service your trees today.
Friends of Fisher House St. Louis has served thousands of military and veterans family members in our community by ensuring they can be with their loved ones receiving medical care. They know that a family's love is good medicine. Visit 971talk.com/care to learn more.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
An accused leaker in court. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Federal prosecutors arguing with defense attorneys about whether Jack Teixeira should be released with conditions ahead of trial. He is the Massachusetts National Guard member accused of posting classified documents online in a chat group.
The 21-year-old faces up to 25 years in prison. They say he poses a flight risk and also poses an ongoing risk to both national security and the safety of the community.
Fox's Molly Line outside the courthouse, where Justice Department lawyers also say Teixeira took steps to hide the scope of what was obtained and had multiple guns.
They know Teixeira was suspended in high school after a classmate overheard him making comments about Molotov cocktails, guns at school, and racial threats. Government records show that beginning in February of 2022, Teixeira began to access hundreds of classified documents with no bearing on his role as essentially an IT support specialist, searching terms related to mass shootings and the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
The defense wants Teixeira to be released to his father's home, noting in part that the weapons have been removed. The U.S. plans new migration centers in Guatemala and Colombia as part of a broader effort to stem the flow at the southern border.
The regional processing centers announced today will be a critical addition to the programs and processes DHS has in place for qualifying individuals to obtain authorization to enter the United States before arriving at our borders.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says the administration also continues efforts to address root causes of migration. This ahead of an expected surge with the pandemic-era rule known as Title 42 scheduled to end 2 weeks from today. Republicans say the administration's immigration policies have led to an open border. The U.S. slapping new sanctions on Russia's Federal Security Service and Iran's Revolutionary Guard for wrongfully detaining Americans, a largely symbolic addition to existing sanctions. America is listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mostly cloudy skies with us on this Thursday afternoon with some showers from time to time. And don't be surprised if there's a rumble of thunder. 62, it's kind of cool. Tonight, some showers, mainly scattered showers, lots of clouds, 48 Friday. A fading early morning shower on Friday. Otherwise dry with a mix of clouds and sunshine and 68. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here because you clearly have a refined palate. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
So the Retirement Advisory Group has these seminars every once in a while. And what we do is we invite you to come spend a little portion of your evening with myself, Mark Cox, Mark Reardon, and of course, Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group. This is how this is set up. First of all, this one coming up Tuesday, May 16th. Like I said, I'll be there, and I really hope for the opportunity to see you there and shake your hand and meet you. The event starts at 6:30 p.m., but I'll be there at 6 trying to meet everybody as the evening progresses. And then at 6:30 p.m., Mark and I talk for a little bit, and we turn it over to Thomas Helbig. He spends about 45 minutes with you talking about how he can protect your retirement. It costs you nothing. You just need to sign up and make sure your spot and your seat is reserved. Bring a friend, bring a significant other, and make sure that your retirement is protected. You do have to reserve your seat. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Call the Retirement Advisor Group. Mention the Annie Frey Show. When you talk about signing up for the seminar, you can find them online at retirementkey.com.
Hi, this is Terry Hall, host of the popular radio show for veterans, Vet Time in America. Sundays at 12 noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Our show is all about veterans. We talk with experts. We help you get benefits, how to get more, and what to do if you're not getting what you deserve. Tune in on Sunday at noon. Join the conversation. We take calls. Vet Time in America. Tune in this Sunday at noon on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you're looking at new windows for your house, choose wisely. Mark Cox here for my friends at Window World. You want to go with a company you can trust. Ranked number one in the number of windows sold in the country. That's according to Qualified Remodeler magazine. In just over 20 years in business, they've improved the look and obviously the thermal efficiency of over 70,000 customers in St. Louis. They're going to give you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts and the glass breakage and the labor. It's a good product. Call them at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate. That's 314-993-1800. Window World won the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval. That's not easy. They rely on the expertise of their in-house engineers and their analysts and their product experts to give that seal of approval. That should matter to you as well. Call for your free estimate right now. Simply the best for less at Window World. 314-993-1800. WindowWorld.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're glad that you're here with us this afternoon. The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Should Donald Trump participate in the GOP debates? Yes or no? The former president is citing polls. The polls that are out there right now have him with a commanding lead over the other primary candidates, which include ones that are not actually already in the race. And they're suggesting that Donald Trump could possibly run away with this. I can't stress enough how early in the whole election season, primary season this is. And those things can turn and go completely the opposite way in no time for whatever particular reason. If Ron DeSantis, we're seeing so many of those. You've seen those super PAC ads, Brad, that they're running right now for Ron DeSantis. They're good ads.
Yeah.
You see them on the screens in here all the time, and I always look, and I'm always squinting to make sure I know who paid for it. If it says Ron DeSantis for president, and if Ron DeSantis is on the end and it says, I'm Ron DeSantis and I approve this message, I need to know that that is what happened.
Yeah.
But right now, Donald Trump is saying, listen, I'm going to win this thing. Why would I go participate in these debates? Why would I do this? And he didn't have to do any debates when he was the incumbent, when he was the president running in 2020. He didn't have any challengers. They didn't go through any debates. That makes sense. Joe Biden has said he's not going to do any debates, from what I understand. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, this is a trend that we're seeing, though. Katie Hobbs didn't debate Carrie Lake. John Fetterman finally agreed to do one debate.
I'm glad you mentioned Carrie Lake. I got to write that down because I got to circle back to that.
Yeah, way at the end of it, after early voting had already been going on for quite some time. So much so that after his debate performance, people were Googling, how do I change my vote?
What do you think, Brad? Should Donald Trump participate in GOP debates?
Yes, on the principle. I think he needs to prove that he still has it. I don't think that he can just say, I'm good enough.
I don't even know if technically default is that he still has it, because the last time he ran, he lost. And whether, whatever you think about him winning or losing, he's not the president. Joe Biden is the president. And so does he still have it? Well, the last test that we have of that is no, he doesn't.
Right.
If he's winning, if he's winning all the polls, Ryan, by 40% or whatever it might be, and he thinks that the only thing that can happen is hurt himself in the GOP debates, I understand why he thinks that he shouldn't have to. Should Donald Trump participate in the GOP debates?
Yes, on his terms, because I think what he's done recently is said, I don't like this moderator. I don't like that they didn't talk to me about this at all. And he's the clear front runner. So I think he should have some say in how.
Should he have any more say than Nikki Haley has in it?
Yeah, I think he should.
Do you think so, Brad?
Should he have more say? I don't know. I mean, he should have the same amount of say as any candidate, but.
Should any candidate have the same amount of say as he does?
I think so. I mean, well, I don't want to say any candidate, because there are some candidates that are like running for office.
Well, there's
prison.
Usually a prerequisite to make the stage, especially when there's a big field. There's usually like you have to be polling at 6% or more, whatever it is. They do establish those. But once you are one of those candidates, should you have a larger amount of influence on how things are done?
Well, you're just by nature going to have a larger amount of influence.
I think your influence. I think you shouldn't have any more say at the table, but you do have the say as whether you participate or not.
Right.
And your larger influence comes from, if you're Donald Trump and you're winning by 40% and you say, I'm not doing it, do the people who are putting the debate on go, well, then we have to change what we're doing to make sure that you are there?
How much of this has to do with the RNC saying that if you won't sign on to support the
a lot
the RNC nominee, that you can't be on the debate stage?
I think that has everything to do with it, because I don't think Donald Trump is going to support anybody else for president.
No. He won't throw his name behind anybody. If he loses, no.
Ryan, do you think that it's a problem for Donald Trump to say he wouldn't support anyone else?
Yeah.
It is a problem.
It is a problem. And in fact, this is a rare instance, that I actually would support the RNC's position over Donald Trump's position in saying, look, you got to win. You got to win this thing outright. You can't take your ball and go home if you don't, because if you do, you're destroying whoever the nominee would be. So that is something that has to be established. You have to support whoever the nominee is going to be.
There are two outcomes. There are three outcomes. If you're Donald Trump, there are three outcomes. You win the nomination. You lose the nomination because people voted for somebody else and chose someone else, or you lose the nomination because it was rigged. Those are the possible outcomes. And I think Donald Trump is of the mind that only one of those is acceptable. And I don't know. I don't know, based on what I have heard from the president, it seems to me like he doesn't speak on it as much as he used to in interviews that he's doing with people like Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity or Newsmax, whatever it was before. It doesn't seem like he's talking about the last election as much as he used to. So maybe he has made that decision on his own. Maybe he's taken some advice and said, you think what you think about it. Stop talking about it. Talk about 2024. Stop talking about 2020. That's what I would like to see. I don't know that he's going to be able to do that. On a debate stage with Joe Biden, I honestly don't think that it's guaranteed that if Trump is the nominee and Biden's the nominee, that we will see a debate between the two of them.
I think it's less likely that we'll see a debate. I don't think Joe Biden puts himself in that position.
And I think he gets away with not doing it.
Oh,
he
for
didn't
sure.
have to do hardly anything physical in the 2020 election to earn people's vote.
That is what's so sad. And Brad, you mentioned it, that these are candidates. You talked about Katie Hobbs and Kari Lake being one, John Fetterman and Oz almost another, but it was so late that so much of the vote had already happened. I would say that if they debate, there will be, let's say it is Trump and Biden, because it looks like, at least that they would be the most likely scenario. That those two, Trump will want to debate Biden. Biden will come up with a lot of reasons why he shouldn't or won't debate that have nothing to do with the actual debate. It'll be, well, this is unfair, and we don't like this aspect of whatever it is, but he will come up with excuses to have either no debates or minimal, maybe one debate late in the season.
Slow walk it.
Yeah.
That's what I see happening is a slow walk. It's like, well, we're still in negotiations to get the terms that are acceptable to us and blah, 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 blah. And then like November, the day before, they have a debate.
Well, we want your vote on the Annie Frey YouTube poll right now. Should Donald Trump participate in GOP debates? Yes or no? If you go to YouTube, type in Annie Frey, Frey, you'll see that we are live right now, and in the live chat portion, that's where the poll is. You can leave comments. Hannah will feature those throughout the show. And let me ask you this question. Ryan, what is Donald Trump's number one reason for running for president?
I think this time around, it's probably, the word vindication isn't quite right, but there is that aspect to it. It's more like, I didn't get to finish, something along those lines, that it is very personal for him. I get the sense that it's much more about Donald Trump than it is about anything else.
Brad?
I would say it's redemption is the way I would frame it.
Redemption's a good word.
Yeah. He fell flat on his face in 2020, and he doesn't like it. It left a bad taste in his mouth, and it is not anything about anything else other than it should have been me. And so that's what he's trying to do. He feels like he deserves this presidency.
I think I agree with him on all of those things. But if I'm looking for someone to become the president of the United States, it has to be bigger than that. I don't understand how any human being can be attacked, lied about, essentially framed the way Donald Trump has been treated in this country as a candidate in 2016 and throughout his entire presidency. Time and time and time again, he's been accused of crimes. He's been accused of terrible things. And honestly, what it boils down to right now, for people who despise him, who wake up thinking about how much they hate him, who go to bed at night hoping to dream about bad things happening to Donald Trump, really it boils down to they think he's a really bad guy, that he may be morally vacant, and they just think he's a horrible person. All of the things that they have accused him of, he has somehow, up until this point, evaded. He's under criminal indictment in Manhattan right now, possibly going to be taking place in Georgia this summer. There are 2 other cases that are out there. What will happen with them, I don't know. But Donald Trump's batting 1,000 right now on not being guilty of what they've accused him of. It's pretty amazing. And when you look at what he's had to deal with, and you look at how the tap dancing that the narrative-driven media has done around facts, truth, in order to make sure that every night that you tune into the news, you have a renewed reason to, at your core, despise Donald Trump. That's always been the point. It's never the conclusion of the story of the allegations of the charges. It's never the conclusion that gets reported on. It's the days and weeks and months and years of story that they get to wring out of this rag that seems to never run out of moisture to make Donald Trump seem like the worst man on the planet. So his biggest crime is the fact that he exists as an imperfect human being. And in some cases, if you ask Hillary Clinton, a deplorable human being. But if you were to compare notes with so many other people who are in elected positions right now, or just anywhere in general, there's not a lot of perfect people laying around these days. In fact, there are a lot of imperfections that exist. Donald Trump is afraid of nobody. He will back down from no one, and he is unwilling to polish up all of the corners of his life so that people can't take him down for things that they wouldn't, the measuring stick that they wouldn't hold against any of their candidates. It's completely, entirely unfair. So when Donald Trump is running, the words that were used here, vindication and redemption, to win, I 100% understand that. Completely get where he is coming from in that. But if you want to run for the president of the United States, you have to do it. You have to set all of yourself aside. And you have to have the right motivation to represent all of the American people who voted for you, who didn't vote for you, the ones who hate you. You have to understand and convince the American public that your reason for seeking out that highest office in the land is not about you. That's the only way he's going to get other people to vote for him, to get more people to vote for him than are going to vote for Joe Biden. And in my opinion, the only way that he's going to convince those people out there that he is running for something bigger than himself. I mean, he said, many people in his campaign have said, they're not coming after him, they're coming after us. And Donald Trump is just standing in the way. Well, he needs to make that case for us. He needs to make the point to the American people and to the electorate that we are the most important person that got screwed in that last election, not Donald Trump. And I believe that he believes that, but that's not his primary message, at least right now, not the way I see it.
Yeah, I understand that. I also think that everything you said is very, very true. And there's a great comment up here from Joe, I believe it was. He says, I don't care if Trump cares about Trump. I bet anyone would be hard-pressed to find a 100% selfless politician. We're electing people to do things that are good for the U.S., the people. Ego is a given. I think with Trump, you're talking about somebody who now, as opposed to 2016, does have a very clear record. And that's one of his greatest assets going into this campaign that he didn't have in 2016, is that he does have a record to say, look at what I did versus what this other guy did. And to me, there really is no better campaign message than that. And I think he's going to hammer that like crazy.
His record?
His record. I think he's going to hit his record a lot.
I hope so, but I have no indication right now that he is going to talk about that at all. Nobody's even listening to that. That's why they're charging him with all of these things. He's going to talk about, in my opinion, his focus right now is on how unfair everything is. He will tout his policy victories when he's in friendly company with a Tucker Carlson or a Sean Hannity, because they'll listen to him. They believe him. They know it already, and it's a good platform to get it out there. But when he's in a challenging environment, he needs to use that as an opportunity to win people over. You're not going to win somebody who hates you, like the moderator of the Washington Post, I think, is the one that's connected to maybe the Ronald Reagan Library debate that is supposed to happen is in partnership with the Washington Post. And Donald Trump has said, why in the world would I subject myself to these liars that hate me, that aren't interested in the facts? Like, I understand that. And if he has influence to level that playing field a bit and get people in there that are more interested in facts than agenda, then I'm all for that. But up until this point, Brad, I have not seen him running on re-election because of how great his successes were in his first administration.
No, I haven't seen any of that. He's just sitting here. Actually, a lot of his stuff is about how terrible the other people are. If you stop and think about it, all the campaign ads is why, like even his speeches and stuff like that, he talks about why Ron DeSantis going after Disney is a terrible thing, or why, it's just stuff like that. It's like, actually, you know what? Charlie Crist was a pretty good governor of Florida. It's not, Ron DeSantis isn't that good. It's stuff like that where he's not really building himself up, but dragging other people down. And you're right, Ryan. He has a record. He has a very good record. The economy was unmatched under him. It's a great economy. But people, like Annie was saying, people can't hear that. They won't hear that. It's unfair the way he was treated, but he was treated that way. The damage was done, and he's got to figure out how to undo that damage. And it can't be by saying how unfair it was that this happened to him. It makes him look pathetic in a way. I don't want to use it in a harsh way, but it like oh, poor woe is me. That doesn't make me want to vote for you.
Is Donald Trump owed the nomination?
No.
Do you think so?
No, I don't think he's owed it.
Do you think he thinks he's owed the nomination?
I think he thinks he is. He still has to earn it. I mean, it's the presidency of the United States.
It's bigger than him.
It's a big job. You got to earn it. The thing is, I think he, in a lot of ways, them coming after him is part of earning it. And so him talking about all these things that have happened to him, that is part of earning it, that he's come through all those things. But it's not the only reason to vote for him.
But you can't. Your message can't be, it wasn't fair. It's not fair.
No, but you mentioned DeSantis. I think that one of the things that he's doing right now is attacking DeSantis's policies, and it looks foolish because it's ridiculous to attack. It's got good policies, and it's very similar to yours, Mr. Trump. But when it's not DeSantis anymore, once it's not a primary, that focus shifts to attacking the priorities and the policies of Joe Biden.
Well, his way of attacking Ron DeSantis is juvenile.
It is. It's silly.
And he's not going to... I don't know if you guys can hear this noise, but we might be under attack. It's the aliens.
It's not the aliens.
It's the aliens or the rain that I prayed for earlier. Let's continue this conversation here. And your feedback, Hannah can come in here in the next segment and react to some of your comments on the Annie Frey YouTube poll. Should Donald Trump participate in GOP debates? Yes or no? Your thoughts on where this is headed for the Republican Party, where this is headed for Donald Trump, on air when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You've been claiming you're honest and promising progress. Well, where is it at? I don't want you to feel like a failure. I know this hurts, but I gave you your chance to deliver. Now it's my turn. Don't get me wrong. Nature had a great run.
Michael's Flooring Outlet in St. Louis is the local place, the local business to shop for flooring, to shop for hardwood flooring, to shop for the Ultra Wood, easy to install, wet protect, waterproof hardware, Everlast hardwood protection, easy to clean, the solution you've been looking for a beautiful new finish on your flooring in your home or maybe in your place of business. There are a lot of people who may have had some sort of carpet in their offices. If you are like a dentist's office and you've had carpet before and you want to go to some sort of laminate or luxury vinyl plank, You connect with Michael's Flooring Outlet and you talk to them about the spaces that you're looking to work with, and they give you the suggestions that you need to achieve the aesthetic that you desire. You can go in with a picture and say, this is kind of what we're looking for. Or you can go in and say, we just had a flooring mishap or something happened and we got to replace the flooring. We haven't been shopping at all and we need some help. When you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet, you are going to get the best customer sales help that you can get in the business. Plus, they have great value on great quality products. It's Michael's Flooring Outlet. They have 3 locations in the St. Louis area. Find out all the details online at igotfloored.com.
Hi guys, it's Mark with Pineview Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. Our wave technology is backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now, and not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but will also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but it's free to those who call in the next 2 minutes. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com, or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. The Mark Reardon Show.
The Heritage Foundation's E.J. Antoni.
This really is a forced transition away from relatively clean coal, oil, and natural gas to these unproven technologies.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
And everybody, yeah, tries to put my Snoopy down. Snoopy, I don't care what your daddy do. 'Cause you know, Snoopy girl, I'm in love with you. And so I say now, hey.
I love this song. What does the song make you think of?
It just made me ask the question for the first time ever. Was a girl's name Sloopy
Have you ever
popular in the 50s?
No. Have you ever seen the music video?
No.
No. Mm-hmm. I can't do anything about it on the air, but it is from what I recall, kind of an earth-shattering video in its time.
Oh, really? Like a live performance type video before like music videos took off type thing?
I'm pulling it up right now, and the best guess that I have is it starts off with this woman walking downtown in some... Guess what year the song is from?
Early 50s.
65.
65, wow.
She's got on some short shorts. She looks great. She's wearing a tank top. She's not wearing a bra.
Oh.
And I think that's probably it.
Ah, so that's
I think
the
that's the
reason
thing.
it's controversial.
I don't think it's controversial. I just think it was appreciated.
Oh, so that's why
Artistically
people are still watching it.
acclaimed.
Let me introduce you to my daughter, Sloopy.
It's just funny to look at this video from 1965 and see her walking down the street, and it was probably like, ooh.
Ooh, man, you know who's hot as that Sloopy.
Now let's go to a Nicki Minaj video. What does WAP stand for? Okay, let's go back to the days of Sloopy.
Let's go back to Sloopy.
What does Sloopy mean?
Ooh, yeah.
In the song.
Does that mean something?
Hang On Sloopy by the McCoys describes more than a boy's love for a girl in a different socioeconomic class.
Ah, so it's more than just a Romeo and Juliet.
This says, what does the term sloopy mean? Very untidy, showing lack of care, slovenly, or messy.
Ah,
I don't know.
Hang on, Sloopy. We gotta get you fixed up a little bit.
Here's a bra.
Put a bra on, Sloopy.
Put this on. Put them back where they're supposed to go.
Here's my
They would
beautiful
say, this is
baby.
where they're supposed to go.
I've named her Sloopy. I bet she turns out to be quite the beaut.
She's a mess.
Yeah. We're not going to teach her basic hygiene.
Are you guys done?
Yeah, we're done. You ready to move on?
Well, I don't know. I was just reading about Sloopy on live on the air while you guys were saying
that's
things
fun.
that when I tuned back into the show that I'm on, I thought, ooh, I'd like to turn the channel.
Ooh, where'd we go?
Oh, crap, that's me. This is my fault. The YouTube live chat poll today is, should Donald Trump participate in GOP debates? I emphatically say yes. Ryan, your response?
I say yes.
Brad?
I'm a yes.
Hannah's in the house.
What's up, Hannah?
What's up? Trump does
I am
need
undecided.
Yeah, it's yes or no.
Which is
You
not
do
a
the
mimicking of
polls.
Hannah. That's from like 10 years ago on the station. I am undecided. If you know, you know.
Trump does need to debate. Do I think he might be shooting himself in the foot with that? Yes.
If he debates?
Yes, but I still think he needs to do it.
That is a very good question. Do you think that it actually might help Trump to not debate, even against Joe Biden?
Well, I think it could, but the upside is huge or huge if he chooses to play it that way. He had the opportunity to do that in the debates from the last time. He didn't.
No, he didn't.
It was. I mean, I remember watching, like, what are you doing?
Just back it down a notch. Just turn it from 11 to 9. That's all it was.
This guy's whole the biggest problem with Joe Biden is that he's a frail old man, and now you're making people feel sorry for him. And Joe Biden lied and lied and lied in that debate about his son, and it didn't matter because Donald Trump was mean, and that means a lot in an election.
It did in that one.
What were you going to say, Brad?
I was going to say, I don't know that it can help him so much as it just can't hurt him.
What do you mean? You don't think that him debating can help him?
Not debating. So skipping the
you don't
debate.
think that
So if he doesn't debate,
let's eliminate the negatives.
It's not a net positive for him, but it eliminates the negative.
Yeah, accentuate the
I think the
positive.
risk is worth
eliminate the negative.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got to be able. Well, so does Joe Biden. I mean, I know we're not talking about the general.
I don't think anybody
here,
disagrees with that.
But
that's not the question today.
yeah, but that's not the question. The question is the primary. He's got to be able to do it. You're right.
Hannah, you want to read some of the comments from some of our listeners on today's YouTube live chat poll?
Yes, today's YouTube live chat poll is asking, should Donald Trump participate in the GOP debates? Yes or no? KK said, of course Trump needs to participate. Why wouldn't he? Let's see what else. Carlos says, I voted yes. Debates are good for those who look to lead us. Joe says, I voted no on the poll. We all know what we are getting with Trump, the good and the bad. He doesn't need to qualify himself because he's already held the job. We needed to hear from the other guys. TJ from YouTube says, I think the best candidate should win and those who earns votes. You should be able to debate and defend why you should get anyone's votes. G. Wibbs says, yes, Trump should be in the debate, but on the condition of supporting whoever the nominee ends up being. That should always be the case unless you actually are a third party in disguise. So a lot of people are leaning yes so far, but I won't say the results so far, but lots of people leaning yes.
Who in here is Trump first? Anybody want to admit to that, Ryan?
Like like he's your top choice in the primary?
If you're voting primary today, is Donald Trump getting your vote?
Probably. Yeah.
compared to.
I mean, DeSantis isn't in. I really like DeSantis. It's more, I support DeSantis. I think he's got a good record about it. I don't believe that loyalty is the most important thing in politics, because I don't like this loyalty test that Donald Trump is putting on people who are in the political sphere, because if people put loyalty over other things, that can be a huge problem. Huge. And I think that Donald Trump's emphasis on that and the way he's reacting to Ron DeSantis, who isn't in the race yet, but I suspect will be soon. I just really like Ron DeSantis. And if you've been listening to this, I have been a Ron DeSantis supporter long before Donald Trump ever officially announced that he was running. I'm a big fan. So I would be DeSantis. Hannah?
I would be DeSantis too. And on that point, I don't know if I'm hurting myself in the end, because I keep thinking for 2024 that DeSantis is going to be it and, you know, all is going to be well, but he hasn't even announced yet. And I don't know if it's good for me to keep having this dream about DeSantis, or if I actually need to think about the current candidates, who they are and who I would pick from them. Because in my mind, I'm just DeSantis first.
This is your first election in the media, so I just want to prepare you for all of your hopes and dreams to be crushed. Squashed into the ground in that park out there, and then you know what happens next.
Yeah, they throw it in a very particular trash can.
After they wipe their hands on the grass.
Yes.
First on the, and then the grass.
So the question being, who would I vote for today in the primary?
Who's got your primary vote right now?
Right now, I might be Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really like what he's doing.
He is the smartest man in the race right now. Because
He
his
is fun to listen
profile,
to.
well, his profile, he's doing all the right things. Does Vivek think he's going to be the president of the United States?
I don't know.
He's more likely than me. I don't think he thinks he's going to be the president, but he is putting himself out there. He's talking about ideas. The most substance in the conversation right now is coming from Vivek.
Yeah. And I really like it because he's going on CNN. He's
getting Don Lemon fired, apparently.
Yeah.
Everybody says there was that interview that did it. I don't know why
I
that
don't
one
think
would
that's
be the one.
it. But, I mean, he's talking
We were
about...
shocked at Don Lemon's behavior.
Yeah,
in that
right.
interview.
Oh my gosh, what did Don do
He
here?
was mean to a man and not a woman. But what is a woman? Maybe he thought Vivek was a woman.
They were just shocked that Don Lemon would have no respect for Vivek Ramaswamy.
The only thing we know about what Don Lemon thought about Vivek is that he for sure wasn't black. That's
right.
That's the definitive thing.
That was the comment.
That we know about it.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. We can get more of your comments later on in the show. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, and your vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Should Donald Trump participate in the GOP debates? Yes or no? Results at 2:45. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
Sloopy lives in a very bad part of town.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Tries to put my Sloopy down. Sloopy, I don't care what your daddy do. 'Cause you know, Sloopy girl, I'm in love with you. And so I say now, hey.
Saving money when you grocery shop at Ruler Foods is simple because you just have to shop at Ruler Foods. You don't have to clip the coupons. You can look at the promotions that they have on their website at rulerfoods.com. But saving money is as easy as shopping at Ruler Foods. When the Frey family shops at Ruler Foods, we get produce there, we get bread there, we get soda there, we get dairy products there. We fill our fridge and our pantry and save every time we go through the shop at Ruler Foods. Here are some of the current savings that exist. If you're thinking about grilling, our family loves to grill. Tyson chicken tenders, $2.49 a pound. Tyson chicken breast, $1.99 a pound. And you can get that Kroger 73% lean ground beef in 3-pound rolls for $2.49 a pound. Saving money is simple at Ruler Foods. They have great deals every day for all your cookout needs. Fire up your grill and save at Ruler Foods. Find the one nearest you, whether it's closest to your home, your office, maybe your church. When you go onto rulerfoods.com, type in your zip code, and it'll pop up your location options right there. There are a lot of them. You'll be surprised how many are in the bi-state region. Go to rulerfoods.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information information by dialing 800-924-7415. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415.
Hi, this is Terry Hall, host of the popular radio show for veterans, Vet Time in America. Sundays at 12 noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Our show is all about veterans. We talk with experts. We help you get benefits, how to get more, and what to do if you're not getting what you deserve. Tune in on Sunday at noon. Join the conversation. We take calls. Vet Time in America. Tune in this Sunday at noon on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service offers insulation services. Did you know 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated? Increase your energy savings and comfort with better insulation. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is where real local and national accountability happens. This is 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You keep saying you got something.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Brian, you said you wanted to do the dance with the song. Go ahead.
Remind me what the dance is, because I always got a dance.
Don't play that. You're doing it around the office all the time. Hannah, can you kind of explain what you're seeing right now?
He is strutting his stuff is the best way I can subscribe it.
Hands on hips.
You don't want to subscribe to this, is what I'm saying.
A chicken strut.
Chicken strut now. His neck is moving. He's shaking. He's swaying. Going up.
It's a shame I'm in radio. I'm pretty good at physical comedy.
I think it's actually... You were in TV and now you're here. I think we know why you're in radio.
Nobody can take you seriously.
Actually makes a lot of sense.
Oh, where'd my music go? I was just getting started.
I don't know, but Janie Peterson behind you looks real concerned.
Why are your eyes rolling back in your head?
I can't even look at it on the screen right
now.
now.
My blood pressure.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
That's what you get for subscribing to the YouTube channel, is a bunch of BS.
That
Subscription's
and Ryan,
going down.
That and Ryan with self-tanner.
Are you excited to be bronzed up tomorrow?
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Yesterday we said if we got to 5,500 subscribers on YouTube, I think we at 5,437.
Something like
I think.
that. Yeah.
We were at 5,437 subscribers in the 2:00 hour. Right?
Yeah, it was well.
I think we had less than an hour left.
Yeah.
And you said that you would apply self-tanner if we got 200 votes on the poll, but we get
No, I said you would. And then it became that I would.
I didn't hear that.
No. Every day I think I need to do the tan thing again, and I just never get around to it.
Yeah, I was just giving you an opportunity.
And then that's what I need is your motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we said, well, what if we got to 5,500 subscribers by the end of the show? Ryan, would you self-tan on Friday? And you said?
I said yes.
Yes, period.
Yeah,
done.
You
yes
said
or
yes.
no? No waffling.
I said yes, not understanding what it was.
That sounds about right.
Because I was under the impression that you just kind of rub this stuff on and he's like, hey, look, I'm in self-tan. And then you go shower and it comes off.
Well, all of that is true except for the last part.
Well, yeah. That's my point.
It's not on for life.
And I realized after saying yes, because I thought, Friday night.
This was the best part.
This is the best part.
You know, I thought, it's like worst case scenario, I've got a soccer game with my kids or whatever, and no big deal, whatever. I would shower beforehand, first of all.
Yeah.
Apparently that wasn't going to happen anyway. But even so, no big deal.
Oh, yeah. Ryan gave up showering. Go on.
So, as you know,
Only bathtubs.
I get into a bathtub and I turn the water on.
No.
Ryan gets completely naked, crawls into the bathtub, and then turns the water on like a psychopath.
You're getting people all hot and bothered when you talk about me.
I bet you put
No,
the milk in your
just
cereal
bothered.
bowl
Yeah,
first,
people are
too, don't
just
you?
mad.
Do you put the milk in your cereal bowl first?
Yes, of course I do.
You absolutely don't.
Yes, you do.
No.
You have to put it in first. It stays colder.
Ryan!
How does it stay colder?
No, he's
No, it just does. Like the ceramic just keeps
He's
it
making it all up as he goes.
No.
It's all crap. He's never done that in his
I
life.
would believe him. I believe you.
I realized after saying yes to that the Madison County Republicans and Lincoln Day dinner
that I am
is
emceeing
Friday night that I agreed to go to and forgot that was going to happen after I put on self-tanner.
I'm going to buy the self-tanner tonight.
I thought Hannah was just supplying it.
No, I'm not making you don't use hers.
I want to use whatever we had because you're going to buy something that's like, hey, this is the 1 month version.
I've been discussing this with Hannah.
Annie's been a lot nicer than I ever would be.
Well, I was
about
thinking.
Oh
this
yeah,
whole
Annie's
thing.
super nice.
Hey, knock it off. I have been nice, but haven't bought it yet, and I'm thinking about changing my mind. If we get 6,000 subscribers by the end of the show, can I buy the darkest?
Oh my gosh. How long does it last? How long does this last?
I mean, if it lasts 4 hours, it's enough for me.
If it's just Friday, then I'll deal with it. Yes, I'll say yes if it's just Friday.
What do you mean if it's just Friday?
If by Saturday,
No, it lasts.
I'm going about my business and I still look ridiculous.
Hannah tans once a week.
Yeah.
But not with whatever you're talking about
I'm
buying.
buying the stuff she buys.
Yeah, we use the same stuff. There's different levels. though.
I only use what she uses because she bought it for me for Christmas.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that I want to use the stuff that's normal.
There are 5
That
levels.
is normal.
There are 5 levels.
You're saying you want to get the darkest one.
If we get 6,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel by the end of the show, that's
500.
not even
Yeah,
possible.
That's what you're saying is you're leveling it up. And so I have
No,
to
I'm
agree
saying
to that.
you're going to level it up. That's not even possible that we would achieve that. Agree to it.
6,000
You already
by
said
when?
yes, didn't you?
By the end of the show.
By
By the end of
this
the show, that's 468.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care. There's no way.
There's no way that happens.
That's fine. Talk it up all you want because it ain't going to happen.
That's right. Let's see what happens next.
You're going to get Ryan Light tomorrow.
For people to come in.
Maybe if we get 6,000 by when we go to Florida in a couple weekends.
I'm not wearing tanner in Florida. that would be a terrible idea.
Get you some super dark tanner and some shorty shorts.
Partially because I'll be wearing shorts and short sleeves.
Get him some
and I
penny
gotta rub it
loafers.
all over the place.
Did you tell your wife that you agreed to this?
No.
Oh, man.
Last night, I was on my phone just scrolling, and I was looking at some tanner stuff to see if I could get anything from Amazon that would ship in time for Friday. And I was just sitting looking at my phone, and I just went, and Jared goes, "What?" I go, "I just thought about Ryan having to tell his wife he's going to tan."
No, I'm not
I
going
made
to tell
myself
her.
laugh out loud.
I'm not. I won't even see her until after the Lincoln Day dinner. So I'm going to come home
So
just looking like
the last
that.
Madison County Lincoln Day dinner that I emceed, and you showed up.
I know. I can't believe that.
In
Of all the
Bill
things.
Cosby's sweater.
Yeah, well, I thought that'd be fun. Like everybody's dressing up, and I'm going to wear a Bill Cosby sweater.
It's a Bill Cosby meets Zach Morris sweater.
Yeah, it's not one that you buy at the store right now.
No, because they quit making them because they started making
They
good
were-
decisions.
They quit making them in 1986.
No, that's what I'm saying is that this is a legitimate time period sweater that I was wearing.
To the Madison County Lincoln Day dinner.
Yeah, and I thought, one time, no big deal. It'll be funny.
You thought it was funny.
Yeah.
You walk home that night after I trolled you hard. I called you out from the podium for your sweater.
You still post a picture. There's a picture of me eating fried chicken you still post
That is
from that night.
such a good.
For
that
the
was-
record, you went over to that vacant table and posed for that picture.
By your request.
Correct.
Yes.
But since you posed for it, I
You
have
said
no
you-
shame in posting
You're
it.
eating fried chicken anyway. Go sit at that table by
Let
yourself.
me take your picture.
Let me take your
Mid-bite.
picture.
It's
I'm a sucker
fantastic
for a
photo.
good joke.
Yes.
It was
So
a good one.
When I post that photo, Ryan posed for that photo.
I look
looking
like,
the way he did.
I look like I have no idea that photo's happening.
It's hilarious. You wore that sweater. You thought it was hilarious. You came to that event and hadn't seen your wife. You get home, you walk in the door. What happens next?
I walk in and she's already in bed and she turns and she goes, "Oh no." And I was like, "What? It's fun." And she's like, "No, you were at a real event tonight. Not just one of your normal work events. That was a real event." I'm like, "How did you know all that?" She goes, "Well, I heard you talking about it." I was like, "Oh, are you saying I should have taken this more seriously?" She almost had like one of those moments where she goes, "Ryan, there are times where you do have to take things seriously.
You walk in the room and your wife immediately just says, "Not hi, honey." Oh no.
She did. That's real. And she almost talked me through it. Like, this isn't something you should always do. I know that you like doing funny things, but maybe there are times where there we go. Maybe there are times that you just kind of take a back seat.
Yeah, it's on the YouTube live right now.
And
that
now
was one of the first things I've ever seen of you, Ryan. I barely worked here, and that was the first impression I ever got of you was that sweater.
And you stayed?
Well,
the job market was tough.
The problem is that after that talk, I said to her, "All right, fine, next one, especially an event like that, yeah, I'll take it more seriously." And so I was planning on going and just wearing a normal suit. And now I'm going to be in the darkest self-tan on a dare. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Scale is 0 to 10. 10 being absolutely. What is the possibility that you do this and you like it?
But what was the scale again?
0 to 10.
0 to 10?
That you see yourself and go, I look better this way.
I'm going to say on a scale of 1 to 10, the likelihood that I like this is probably a 10.
If you said anything less than that, I was going to argue with you. I think you're going to like it.
However, it's not something that I would ever do. It's not something that I would ever seek out. So doing it on a dare, I guess, would be the best way to do it because I can say, I was just doing it on a dare, but then like looking in the mirror every now and then.
You know what one of my necessary pre-Disney World visit things is?
What?
Pedicure.
Oh.
You do a pedicure before you go?
I get one. I don't do it. Yeah. You can have sandals and everything. You can have your feet out for the world to see. They need to look nice.
You think people are judging your feet?
I'm judging your feet. I don't even know what they look like. Man
right
feet.
now, I got to get a pedicure. And I got to put self-tanner all over myself because I've set the bar too high.
So this is another thing. I want to do the self-tan thing, but I'm always wondering when I'm going to go get my pedicure. And they do like exfoliating and massaging on your legs.
You got to plan it out.
And if you self-tan and then you go get a pedicure, they're going to
Scrub it all
the
off.
tan off, but just like it's a knee-high sock. Can't do that.
I'm telling you, you really got to plan it out.
The thing is, with the self-tanner, I bet I would like it in a small dose. But I know for a fact that whatever you guys are going to conspire to do, regardless of whether we hit 6,000 likes or not,
Ryan, listen,
is going to be the most comedic version of that thing that it can be. Am I wrong?
Ask Hannah, how have I treated this?
Annie has been so nice about the self-tanner.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm serious.
His lack of faith in me is having me change my mind.
Ryan, really, she was like, are you sure that you want him to do a level blank? Because I don't want him to look foolish. And I was like, yeah, higher level, better.
I thought the whole purpose is that I look foolish. That's why you're doing it.
I mean, I'm starting to change my mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it was, if the scale was 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, if that was the different levels, where do you want to fall?
Look, the whole time we were even talking about this, I'm picturing myself look like Donald Trump. Like, you know that Babylon Bee photo of Ron DeSantis trying to look like Donald Trump, where he's got the white circles around his eyes and he's orange everywhere else.
Have you ever seen
That's
Hannah
what I'm picturing.
look like Donald Trump orange, though?
Careful.
I certainly have not, Annie.
Oh, what a hesitation. Pause.
There was that Halloween episode.
Yeah, she did look like Donald Trump.
Yeah,
She was Donald Trump.
I was Donald Trump.
Forgot about that.
And Ryan was married Todd Lincoln. And if you haven't seen that, you might not want to.
You know, if you, what happens if you Google your name, Ryan?
I think a Navy hockey player is the top result, or at least a couple years ago.
Do you do an image search on your name ever?
I did a while ago. Ryan Wiggins Mercury. Don't know what that is. I guess this is what I would look like on the planet Mercury.
I think that we need to make the algorithm make sure that the Mary Todd Lincoln photo shows up first.
Please.
Apparently, I live in San Francisco, and I am the VP of Growth and Analytics at a company called Mercury.
Look at this goofy picture of Ryan in a Dr. Pepper t-shirt smiling like he's completely innocent, but he's not.
Yeah, that was before I had any gray in my beard.
Second picture.
Oh, my gosh. Now when I search up my name, it comes up as Hannah Gibbs 97.1. I feel like I work here now.
It'll probably say Hannah Gibbs' husband, Hannah Gibbs' boyfriend. That happens.
Oh, I see the Dr. Pepper picture now. How old were you? Like 15?
I look young, don't I?
How old were you?
I was about 15.
I was in the 1800s.
I was married.
He was there when Dr. Pepper was invented.
You know what's crazy? I'm typing in my name, and Ryan Wiggins' wife, Ryan Wiggins hot, doesn't come up at all. I don't get that. Maybe this will change that, though. Maybe the self-tanner will change that.
What are the automatic fill-ins for Ryan Wiggins when you Google it?
Ryan Wiggins 97.1.
Yeah.
Ryan Wiggins, Ohio.
Oh, Ryan Wiggins Lincoln Project. There's a Ryan Wiggins that's involved in the Lincoln Project.
There is.
Do you remember there was
and it says TV personality.
I don't think it's you. Is it you?
Ryan Wiggins Lincoln Project.
I really hope we find out some dirt on you live on the air right now.
Ooh.
From you finding it out live on the air right now.
I'm finding out dirt on other Ryan Wiggins. You wouldn't think it was that common of a name.
Should we start Googling Ryan Wiggins hot just to boost it?
Yeah, I'm going to Google it right now. Over and over.
More Annie Frey Show in a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
These boots are made for walking.
Spring is a great time to get a hold of my friends at the Chesterfield Fence and Deck Company. Mark Cox here. For the month of April, you can get 48 months, zero financing at Chesterfield Fence and Deck on your next big project. Call them now, 636-532-4054. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. What are you in need of? You need a new fence? They've got beautiful cedar fences. They've got vinyl, low maintenance, lifetime fences. They've got aluminum as well. Their decks, they offer cedar and the Vecca Deck vinyl decking, which is maintenance free. You can't beat that. They take a lot of pride in their work at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Their pergolas, their sunrooms, whichever you pick, you can see it in person in their showroom in the Chesterfield Valley, just across from the outlet mall there off 109. Stop by and see them. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck today, 636-532-4054, or online at chesterfieldfence.com.
So Prevent Sprain socks are game changers for anybody who is looking to stay active. You can even wear these on your just regular day shopping, going and running the errands and being on your feet. These socks are going to help keep you comfortable, supported with quality control. Socks are tested to maintain medical grade compression. And these are the only socks that are patented and tested for complete ankle support and stability. I get through staying active with Prevent Sprain socks. And I love the fact that these are on athletes' feet, from the pros through the college levels to my kids who are playing athletic sports and things at their schools. I use them to stay active. People use them to play pickleball, baseball. People use them just to do their walking and their running or their jogging. Prevent Sprain socks are wonderful. I use them, and I hope you'll check them out as well. Reports indicate 50% less recovery time for those ankles. You can learn about them at PreventSprainSocks.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's not just the U.S. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's part of the message from Secretary of State Antony Blinken ahead of an even greater surge expected at the southern U.S. border.
Globally, there are more than 100 million people on the move today, compelled to leave their homes in search of security and better lives.
The administration announcing new regional centers for asylum seekers in Guatemala and Colombia, with a pandemic-era limit on asylum seekers set to end 2 weeks from today. The FBI chief says his agency needs more money, defending the request for about $600 million more, in part to keep focusing on China.
And we've grown the number of investigations into the Chinese government and their actors by about 1,300%. And we have well over 2,000 active investigations into that threat as we speak.
Director Christopher Wray at a House hearing as a different committee presses for more information about China's repression efforts in the U.S.
To answer basic questions like how many Chinese secret police stations are there in the U.S.? When did the FBI first learn about these stations? So far, the FBI has not even provided information behind closed doors in a classified session. The bipartisan committee sent a second letter to Director Dr. Ray yesterday, demanding more transparency by the end of May.
Fox's Brian Yennis, Democrats using today's budget hearing to criticize Republican spending cut proposals. 3 escapees remain on the run after a Mississippi jailbreak last weekend, while the 4th is dead after barricading himself in a home yesterday in a 2-hour gunfight with police.
One deputy was wounded in that fight, and Dylan Arrington, 22 years old, he was in jail for car theft, is now dead. That house eventually went up in blazes during that gunfight.
Fox's Steve Harrigan. Arrington had been accused of killing a pastor and stealing his car while on the run. For now, the search for the other 3 escapees continues. America is listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mostly cloudy skies with us on this Thursday afternoon with some showers from time to time. And don't be surprised if there's a rumble of thunder. 62, it's kind of cool. Tonight, some showers, mainly scattered showers, lots of clouds, 48 Friday. A fading early morning shower on Friday. Otherwise dry with a mix of clouds and sunshine and 68. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Updating your home with James Hardie Siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to ensure you maximize your investment. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, Board and Batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. They also carry Anderson and Marvin windows and doors. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today. sidingexpress.com.
If you're experiencing a spring hiring rush, then you need Indeed. Their powerful, all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
22 years of questioning the narrative. Thanks for making 97.1 FM Talk your home for conservative talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Longtime talk show host Jerry Springer is dead at the age of 79. He hosted the Jerry Springer Show, kind of remade talk TV, on the air for 27 years. Before that, he was a news anchor in Cincinnati. He was also the mayor of Cincinnati in the late 70s. His family says he died peacefully from cancer at his home in Chicago. He was 79 years old, as I mentioned.
So today we find out that Jerry Springer dies, and I'm watching people react to this on Twitter, and Jerry Springer was like the filthiest filth that existed on TV when we were kids. I felt like that was the impression that I got from my house.
He took the genre of talk shows that that live audience talk show and turned it into just
Chaos.
sensational trash.
Depraved.
Yeah. The craziest things you could think of.
I wasn't allowed to watch Jerry Springer.
I wasn't either, but it was on for so long that by the time I started working at UPN, it was on the station that I was working at.
Is Jerry Springer tame now compared to what you can consume on any given day?
I don't know that it would be tame. I think that it would be considered inappropriate, though. I think there are things that they were doing on that show that now you'd watch them and you go, ooh, you can't do that now.
Yeah, they might get in trouble with the woke scolds.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The woke scolds?
Yeah.
What are you calling a woke scold?
Somebody
What
who,
even is that?
a woke scold?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Oh, really? It's somebody who, whenever you say something that is socially unacceptable or whatever, they're the ones that come after you and be like, you're not being sensitive enough, or, you know, that's problematic what you said.
You even said socially unacceptable, and I don't even feel like it's always about what's socially unacceptable. It's just what's unacceptable to them.
Unacceptable. Yep.
So what were you saying?
So, yeah, you couldn't get away with it because it would be too controversial to that society, that part of the society. And, like, it's still, it would be just very fringe and almost caricaturish of society. The stuff that they talked about and the topics, you know, like love triangles that ended up being like relatives that ended up also being, you know.
Oh, man, the KKK was on there every week.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, who are these people? They're not even, I think that it came out that they were all plants.
Plants, yeah.
What
Later.
Is that the show that's You're Not the Father? Is that
No,
that
that's
show?
Maury Povich. I was just going to ask you, Hannah, have you ever seen Jerry Springer?
No.
Do you know who Jerry Springer is?
I've seen pictures of him today. And
Did
he
you
looks
know?
familiar? And
Did you know the name before today?
Yes, but I don't know. I've never watched his show.
She knows him as a renowned politician.
She just knew him as the mayor of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
What
She
was
knows
his
all the
show
mayors
about?
in Cincinnati.
Do you remember the
Trash.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard
it
of
would
him?
just make a fight happen between two women who
Had nothing
didn't
to do
know-
with Jerry Springer.
Yeah. Jerry would just sit there and go, oh, well, now, are you the mom or are you the mom? I don't know what's going on. And then they'd run at each other and fight. That's it.
Huh.
On a stage.
It's really kind of hard to explain.
And then Steve would have to run out there and break him up.
Yeah. And they go, Steve. And then Steve got a show for a very short time.
There were people who you would always have somebody. I mean, were any of these stories ever real?
I would seriously, maybe the very, very early seasons had some that were real, but no.
It'd be like Bob comes out and sits in a chair, and Jerry has a casual conversation with Bob. Bob, talk to me about your wife, Sally. And, oh, we've been married for 10 years, and she's the love of my life, and blah, blah, blah. Or we've been dating. Let's just say dating. We've been dating for 5 months, and she's the love of my life, and I want to
5
marry
months.
her. And
That's right. It was never married for 10 years.
It's not that show. And, I hope to marry her. And I was hoping maybe today I could propose to her. Should we bring Sally out? And the crowd would be like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry,
bring Sally out. Come on.
So Sally walks out, and Sally sits down, and Bob has something he wants to say to you, and then Bob would talk about how much he loves her, and Sally, do you have anything to say to Bob? And Sally would be like, Bob, I'm marrying your dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And the dad's here.
And then the dad walks out.
Oh.
And then the dad's like, yeah, but I'm marrying Sally's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And then they throw
Multiple
chairs
twists.
at each other while the crowd goes wild chanting Jerry Springer's name.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you want to see the show?
And it lasted an hour.
Shockingly.
And you just never
How
knew.
often was
How's
this
this going
on?
to end? You
Daily.
never knew it was going to end in a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, when we were growing up, we had 5 channels we could watch. And you weren't supposed to watch Jerry Springer. You weren't supposed to watch Sally Jesse Raphael. You weren't supposed to watch Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake.
Yep.
You weren't supposed to watch Donahue. I mean, this is what was on. This is daytime television. They had those shows on, and then there were soap operas. And
Days of Our Lives.
Really, the only thing left that looks like those shows is Oprah and Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz for a little while.
Oprah's not on anywhere.
They're not the
prominent now.
same show,
And
but
Dr. Phil is
they
ending.
look kind of like that. with the live audience and the stage in the middle.
Dr. Phil has on conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
He's had on Matt Walsh, who sat across from two, I believe, transgender women or non-binary people. I don't remember specifically what they identify as, so if I did it wrong, it wasn't to be offensive. I don't have any need to offend people with all of that. They had on, I think they had Candace Owens on recently.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did they?
I don't know. He's kind of gone there.
Chris Rufo, I think, was on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been interesting to see where Dr. Phil has taken his show. And I don't know. Is he a conservative? Is that like a known thing? Or
I'm going to guess he is, at least. I don't know that he's openly conservative.
I don't think you can give a platform to Matt Walsh and not
you're not
have
liberal.
some interest in.
Right.
And he moderates those conversations, but it's television when we were growing up, and if you stayed home from school, it was trash.
Outside of The Price is Right, you were searching.
And that was on at 11.
Yeah, 11 a.m. and then the local news for 30 minutes, and then or something like that, and then talk shows and soap operas.
It was so great at about 2 or 3 when the cartoons would start to come back
Channel
on.
11.
Yep.
Animaniacs, Looney Tunes.
DuckTales.
Yeah.
Ooh.
My mom, if I stayed home from school, I wasn't allowed to watch my shows that I wanted because I would have to be sick. So I would be forced to watch The Price is Right at 11, The News, Days of Our Lives, Judge Judy at 3. And if I was lucky, I'd get to.
Judy.
I used to really like Ellen when I was young because that was seemed fun to me.
I liked Ellen's show.
It was
for a period of time.
Yeah. So that was what I got to watch when I was at home.
So Brad sent me this tweet here. They're saying, I don't know. I don't really like this source. Trending Politics News. I don't like that source. Does it source something else in here?
I haven't actually read it.
Thanks for sending it to me.
Well, super interesting though.
13 WHAM in Nashville. So I'll read from the local news report. Police anticipate releasing the manifesto left behind by Nashville mass shooter Audrey Hale to the public. The Metro Nashville Police Department and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have had the writings of Hale in their possession as part of the investigation into the murder of 3 9-year-old students and 3 staff members at Covenant School on March 27th. Some Tennessee lawmakers, such as Representative Tim Burchett, have been calling on law enforcement to release the writings with the hopes they will provide answers for victims in a grieving city. Although the FBI and MNPD have been processing the information, they have now moved closer to releasing the writings to the public. They said the investigation has advanced to the point that the writings from the Covenant shooter are now being reviewed for public release. That process is underway and will take a little time. Despite the support by some for releasing the materials, others believe they should not be released unless the information is helpful. Well, helpful for what? I mean, I'm for releasing it now in full. And is that going to be who's going to be put in danger if this manifesto is released? Maybe that's not a question that can be answered if you don't know what's in the manifesto. But can anyone in here make a case that it shouldn't be released?
Nope.
I can't think of a reason why it shouldn't, unless they're saying it's going to inflame somebody. Not even that. It's like, this should be publicly available.
Before you go, Brad, because you just said unless it's going to inflame somebody. Think about all of the efforts that have been made since this transgender individual shot up this Christian school to talk about the pressure that transgender people are under. Not a single person in these prominent areas of power coming out and saying that Christians were under attack in this instance. I mean, if it's going to inflame people, what has been inflamed and permitted are the people in the community that feel as though transgender individuals' lives are being threatened right now, and that the protections on transgender individuals need to be elevated. That has had the entire spotlight.
Yes.
So if there is a manifesto that comes out and talks about the evils of Christian education and how hateful it was to this person. Is that going to inflame people to be angry at transgender people because the manifesto said this? This manifesto was written by, as far as we know, one person who speaks for themselves. And this individual committed these crimes. We have a right to understand why they committed these crimes without applying the crimes of this one person to any other individual. We should be doing that when white young men shoot up schools. They're not doing that on behalf of white men, even if they say that they are. Just like if a black person commits a crime, they're not doing that on behalf of black people. It's an individual making a decision, and we should absolutely move to putting all of the weight of those decisions and actions on that individual.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but maybe that's what the manifesto does, is that it just paints this as a group effort. Like, I am part of this group, they are part of that group, so I, as part of this group, am going to hurt that group. That might be what the manifesto is. And that may be why they're delaying releasing it, too.
The only thing that I can come up with would be, like, it provides a roadmap on how to do this. But if it provides a roadmap, it also shows
then
you where
know how to stop it.
You know where to put the roadblocks up. So yeah, I'm all for releasing it. Let's get to the bottom of this. We need to figure out the why so that we can. You can't stop these sort of things from happening, and you can't address a situation if you don't understand the why. And the manifesto probably gives you some insight into the why.
There has been so little support for that school and for these victims. It is atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
That week, the same week as that shooting happened, if you recall, at the end of that week, the President of the United States said, this is the opportunity I'm going to take to declare a Trans Day of Visibility.
Mm-hmm.
That same week. So these kind of things, they're very much a part of that conversation. And the manifesto would shed more light on the motive, which is really what we're all asking. Why? Why did this happen?
Does the real question, I'm not implying anything when I say this. Real genuine question. Other than being not a mainstream part of society, what is being put upon transgender individuals? Are their lives being threatened on a regular basis?
I've never seen anything to suggest that it is. In fact, I would suggest anymore that they're not even not part of mainstream society. I would say that they've been included into the mainstream as much with open arms as possible. So I don't know what exactly the rights are or whatever that people say we need to fight for blank. I don't really know what that is other than surgeries for minors. That's the only area that I see there being a battlefront, because everything else, it was like they not to use the word, but transitioned from earlier social issues into, well, now we need to talk about transgender issues, but there weren't really any rights to fight for other than maybe bathrooms. Like, that's the only battleground area that existed for a while until it became about kids.
Bathrooms and sports.
And sports, that's right.
Yeah, I guess, too, you kind of have to understand, like, because we talked about this a little bit yesterday, not specifically to on the transgender issue, but the way people view the world, and we can watch the same movie and see two very different things. Are they being explicitly threatened with physical bodily harm? No. But to them, if you don't recognize their identity, you are literally threatening their very existence. And if that is your mindset, you're going to respond in a way that your existence is being threatened, regardless of how realistic and that understanding of that feeling is. And so I think that's where the battle is coming from. I also think that there's a part of society that feels like there needs to be a battle to fight, a cause to champion. And as a whole, in the United States, things have been so good that there's really not that many battles left to fight. And so because progressivism needs to continue progressing, they have to dig up more and more battles to fight. And so therefore you almost have to manufacture some sort of battle or some sort of civil rights thing that you have to conquer so that you can feel like I'm doing something
Gives you
more
purpose.
with my life.
It gives you purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at somebody who wants to live a lifestyle, who's a grown person who can make decisions for themselves, with biology being behind the fully developed standard that we've held for so many other different decisions that we determine when adulthood begins or whatever. If there's a grown person who wants to make decisions about their life and live their life a specific way, if it doesn't infringe on my ability to live my life the way I want to, there's no requirement whatsoever for us to agree, to approve, to endorse. They can speak up and be like, Annie's white, heterosexual, Christian, suburban life disgusts me. And that is true for people. And I don't hear that and go, I should really reflect on my life and make some changes. There are a lot more people who are white, heterosexual, suburban, Christian living women. So there are more people who do that. So maybe the attacks are out there that are obviously less than people who are vocally being openly judgmental about those who exist in the transgender space. For me, the conversation needs to be about making sure that we're not taking advantage of and persuading children in a life-altering way. I just don't understand how anybody can look at a child, and if I'm an expert at one thing, it's understanding how fickle and uneducated in life experiences children are, and how they'll be completely convicted about something being incredibly important to them one day, and 2 days later they don't care at all. It's like, oh, Mom, that's totally. Way you need to make sure it's displayed the way it needs to be displayed, to make sure you're not spending money to position your home in a way that to sell, that you don't need to spend that money. You want to get the most bang for your buck. Jen Teskey is there to help you through that process. She's also certified in divorce real estate, which is a thing. She's specially trained to assist attorneys and divorce clients navigate the challenges of selling a home during a divorce. And regardless of the situation, Jen understands her role in helping clients buy and sell one of their largest financial investments. Her number one goal is to help her buying clients transition into their new community and sell their residence with ease. If you applies to someone you know in the Metro East, Jen Teskey is waiting for your phone call or your text with RE/MAX Alliance. 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010.
Cardinals fans, baseball is back.
Down the line! Does it stay fair? You bet! It's a slammer!
Catch every pitch from every St. Louis Cardinals game live with News Radio 1120 KMOX on the free Odyssey app.
That's gone! Dylan Carlson!
The voices you know, the team you love.
It is a goner for Arenado!
your St. Louis Cardinals, your Odyssey. Download the free Odyssey app today.
Sharpshooters Indoor Range can facilitate all types of experience levels. CCW courses instructed every month. Check sharpshooterstl.com for availability. Private training is available daily. Sharpshooters Indoor Range can host large group and corporate events with catering from Sharpshooters Pit and Grill. Thursday is always Ladies' Day from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Rent your firearm with the Try Before You Buy wall. Sharpshooters Indoor Range on Gravois in St. Louis. Visit sharpshooterstl.com for full details.
If you want to see better in the new year, there's no better time to call Brenton Vision than right now. Mark Cox here. My friends at Brenton have everything you need to get the crisp, clear vision you've always wanted. Call them at 314-375-2020 or go online today to brentonvision.com. They are the only team in Missouri to perform all 7 FDA-approved forms of vision correction. That includes modern LASIK, permanent contact lenses, and if you have bad reading vision, they even have treatments for you too. So stop throwing your money away. My wife got lens replacement. She sees perfectly these days, and she loves it. Quit putting it off. If it's standing in your way of achieving your goals and your resolutions, Brenton Vision is here to help. Call them today at 314-375-2020. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. That's 314-375-2020. Or schedule right now at brentonvision.com.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. The features you always dreamed of are here. We're talking about rewinding the radio. Listen on the Odyssey app and rewind whenever you'd like, or catch up on entire shows within 24 hours of air. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Won't you come see about me? I'll be alone, dancing, you know it, baby. Tell me your troubles and doubts, giving me everything inside and out.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Appreciate your time with us this afternoon. A reminder, you can stream us live on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, anywhere you go, anytime. Find 97.1 FM Talk. Click the little follow button in the top right. You can also find the Annie Frey Show there. You can follow us and subscribe to our podcast on the Odyssey app. All right, little Wednesday, Annie, are you okay?
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Hi, Anna.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Anna, not Hannah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a requirement of letters that are allowed to be in your name if you're on the show.
For real.
A and N are real big.
Yeah.
This is ANN. The Annie Frey Show.
Anywho, what do you got for us today?
All right. So our first story, there was a school bus of rowdy elementary school kids in Colorado. And the bus driver said he was getting frustrated and wanted to educate and control the kids. So he says...
This is already a bad idea.
Educate and control.
Wait, let's all sit here and
That is a
imagine
quote, too.
a bus driver who wants to educate and control kids. Okay, got that.
I don't have to imagine
So-
that.
Yeah, Brad knows.
Yeah. You were a bus driver.
Yep.
How long did you drive a bus? I almost said, how long did you bus driver?
How long did I bus driver?
Yeah.
I did, I think, 2 years for
He says it like
one
it's
district.
prison.
And
Yeah.
then,
I
yeah.
did.
And I served 3 in an earlier thing on each side of going to college. So I did it for 3 years before I went to college and then 2 years after I got out.
What'd you think about it?
It was a lot of fun, but it just doesn't pay well enough to do it.
Man, they were paying well for a while, though, because they couldn't get bus drivers. It was like $17 an hour, $20 an hour.
Probably that way now.
Yeah, but you say that, but it's not a 40-hour-a-week job.
Yeah, you could do that and other things.
Oh,
yes,
that's true.
That was what I was doing. I was going to school at SWIC and driving a school bus, making bank.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So anyway, we're talking about Brad, right?
Yeah. So
I understand the feeling. I know exactly what was
when
going
it says
on.
bus driver, just say Brad Range.
Okay. So then Brad Range said over the loudspeaker, "You guys need to be in your seats. Do you want to see how dangerous that is?" And then he slammed on the brakes,
Oh my
causing some
gosh.
children to bump their heads into the
Yeah.
seats in front of them, and others fall completely out of their seat. And then he said again on the loudspeaker, "Did you get that? That's why you need to be in your seat." He's now
I don't
being
know if
faced.
that's like really the way to prove that point.
Yeah.
I don't either, but isn't there a little bit of a level of respect there for...
0.
Okay. just making sure. I don't have any either. I was just making sure that you didn't.
That's a lie.
He is now being faced with 30 misdemeanor child abuse charges because it was caught on camera. Annie, are you okay with those charges?
Yeah. He shouldn't be driving those kids around.
No.
I mean, it's a tough job. I know that it's driving a bus and you may not have to have a master's degree in order to do it, but you need to have certain skills, and patience, an abundance of patience is one of those things. And he purposely put those kids in danger. He identified that their position in that bus was unsafe, and then he did to them the thing that would cause them to be unsafe and in peril. He did it to them. So he should absolutely be charged. He should never be around kids again.
Man, like the number one rule when you're driving a school bus, the number one thing that they beat into your head is your job is the safe transportation of students to and from school. That is your number one job. Everything else is subservient to that. So if anything that you're trying to do that is taking you away from safe transportation, it goes on the back burner. Make sure you're safe first. This is the exact opposite.
So
of that.
saying to the kids, what would happen if the bus were to roll, and then driving off the cliff
Right,
and making
it's
the
a
bus
terrible
roll
idea. Yeah,
is
it's
a
an
bad
awful
thing.
idea.
Okay.
Do seatbelts have, or do buses have seatbelts in them now?
Some do.
But kids, you don't
When
wear
I went, they never did.
No.
Me neither.
It's the short buses because there's enough. This is going to sound weird, but they always say the bus is above the crash line, and kids usually don't know if you've been in an accident. I don't know how much I believe that. The reason that I think
they know
it
when
is,
your bus driver's a psychopath.
well, the reason I think it is if there's a fire on the bus and you've got a busload of grade schoolers trying to
can't-
unbuckle. I had
Oh,
71 kids.
Yeah, that makes sense.
On my bus. There's no way I could, but like the front 4 seats had them for certain students.
In case, yeah, that makes sense. Because
So-
to evacuate a bus full of students, that makes sense.
It makes sense, especially if a short bus does have them then.
Yeah, and the seats in front of you are padded. It doesn't feel like they are padded.
Oh, I remember that. I
These
remember hitting my
kids on
head.
this bus really understand that.
Yeah, they know now.
No, I can't understand how you would put a kid in that situation. And he probably won't be found guilty of 30 charges, but he should be doing something, and he should never, ever, ever be working with kids again. For sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, no respect for that guy.
Our next story. So there's a New Hampshire man that pleaded guilty to posting a fake Craigslist ad for a free trailer.
Craigslist?
With House candidate Bill Boyd's phone number.
Wait. Start over. He posted on Craigslist a what?
A free trailer.
Like a
And basically
that
it's
you
just
live
like,
in,
hey, if you
or
want,
that you carry Home Depot
that's a
2x4s
good
with.
question
Or like a
that
movie
I don't
trailer.
know the answer to.
You can see a new movie starring whatever this representative Boyd.
And he posts it with the call number
of Bill Boyd.
Bill
Okay.
Boyd.
And because of this ad, Bill Boyd had to get a new phone number because he was receiving so many texts and calls about this trailer.
Must have been a good price.
Yeah. So the sentence that was handed down just this week is that the man who posted this ad is being stripped of his right to vote. Annie, are you okay with that punishment?
Wow.
Oh.
I
Wonder
just thought he
what
would
his-
lose Craigslist rights.
No, he probably runs Craigslist now. When was the last time
Craig.
when was the last time you used Craigslist?
I use it actually fairly often still.
Really?
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh man, it's probably been 4 or 5 years ago.
It's been a long time. I forgot it existed. Lose his right to vote. I mean, he clearly makes bad decisions. Is Bill Boyd a Republican or a Democrat? Do we know?
I don't know.
What state is this?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Is it?
That's swing state, so it doesn't matter.
Bill Boyd. Republican.
Oh.
So he's a Democrat. I'm totally okay with it.
To the straight to jail.
No, I don't. I feel like that's kind of harsh. That was the consequence.
Yeah.
That's innovative.
Certainly.
Seems pretty.
Man, I don't know.
Stout.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it was. I mean, you could commit a prank.
Mm-hmm.
That is also a crime.
Mm-hmm. And we've all committed that prank before, right?
Not that one.
Not against a politician, but against a friend.
Gosh, Anna, you don't know what it's like to live before caller ID.
No.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah.
So much room for activities. Before caller
man.
ID.
Did you
prank call people?
Did you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I did too.
Why are you?
A little bit.
Who didn't?
Well, we were right at the age where people started to get caller ID, and I pranked somebody once. It was like somebody told us, when you're this age, you do prank calls. And so we went, oh, that's what people do for fun? We should do that. We had no intention really to do that. It was like somebody told us. So we would just call a random number.
Tell them the refrigerator was running?
No, it was like I would get into dialogues with people about how I'm their neighbor and their dog was in my yard eating all my stuff. I just go on these tangents as usual. And
now he's here.
And the one
Is this a prank call? Is this whole show a prank call?
The one time that I did it and the person had caller ID, they just pranked me back and they called me back as the police. I was like, oh no, I don't even know what you're talking about, but I definitely did not prank anybody. And he's like, okay, well, we know that you did. And it was the same guy I had just called.
I said, who doesn't prank call people? Brad, did you ever prank call people?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But wasn't there like a pound something or something you could hit? And
Star 69.
No. You could hit it and they call you back. I did it like 3 times. The third time, the guy called me right back. He's like, "You think that's funny?"
You're
I was like,
it's hilarious.
See,
it was supposed to be.
People my age are getting more creative. There's an app, I don't know what it's called, but it will make it so that somebody will put in 2 phone numbers, so it looks like both those 2 people are calling one another. So it will show up as that other person on my phone. So sometimes I'll get a call from somebody I haven't spoken to in 10 years or somebody that I dated in high school. And I'm like, why are they calling me?
Ooh,
and then the person that put in those 2 phone numbers can listen to the call.
Yuck.
It's awful.
I hate kids these days.
Man.
Are we old enough to say that? I mean, we know you are, Ryan. Brad, are we old enough to say that? Kids these days?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Kids these days. Yeah.
Somebody should slam on those
Old man
brakes.
yells at the sky.
Yeah, let's go back to the bus driver thing. Let's talk about these kids. I don't know. People are saying even a misdemeanor would not take those rights because there are certain things that you could be charged with that would cause you to lose your rights. And different states have different laws about when you get your voting rights back. If you ever do as a felon, some states you can vote from prison. So I don't know. I'm going to say I don't think I am okay with that. It's pretty steep.
Yeah, that's steep for me too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Brandon, get off my lawn.
Oh man, I just remembered. I had a friend who would just dial people when we first got our cell phones. And he would go, this was when Mark McGuire was on the Cardinals and hitting home runs. He would just go, this is Mark McGuire, I'm a home run for you. And that was it. And he would hang up.
It's a fantastic story. I do feel like I'm being pranked and everything's starting to make sense to me.
So this next story, a woman spent 500 days alone in a dark cave for research.
Ooh.
The woman, who was 48 years old when she entered the cave in November of 2021, had volunteered for the seclusion as part of an effort to explore the effects of isolation. While she was living in the cave, she knitted, exercised, drew pictures, and read 60 books, and she had no way of tracking time and said it felt like it was always 4 a.m. She said that time went by so quickly she easily could have stayed underground longer.
Oh.
And she said, quote, I was sleeping when they came down to get me. I thought something had happened. I said, already? No way. I hadn't finished my book. I didn't want to come out. 500 days.
Oh my gosh.
Conclusion of the research, she didn't like it.
She's nuts.
Yeah.
That sounds like torture.
What was she trying to prove?
Just what isolation does to a person, I guess.
Makes them like it.
Makes them like reading.
It's a Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. Are you okay with this experiment?
No, I thought you were going to say she got like $50 million for doing this.
It says volunteered, so I think she did it for free.
This is you know who this woman is? This is the woman who's in charge of the grand jury in Georgia. You get somebody like that who's in charge of something, and you're like, none of this makes any sense. But none of it can make sense because that person is the one in that position.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make sense of being in isolation for 500 days in a cave? And they're like, it's fantastic. Would do it again.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's the perfect candidate to be in charge of the grand jury because she was unfazed by the news cycle. You just came out of a cave? Come on for jury duty.
Good grief. How long could you stay in a cave, Ryan? And like that, how long could you last? Do you think you could last a while?
How luxurious was the cave?
I mean, I saw pictures and it looked like just a legit cave.
Yeah, it was a cave.
Wait, what is a legit cave?
Like what you would picture? I don't.
So it just looked like a cave. It didn't look like somebody had made it into a suite.
Don't think like hole in the wall, go into the cave. Think of like drop you down into the cave.
I could stay in that for 1 week.
Oh,
That's about it.
0. I'm not going in.
No. I need to know exactly how I'm getting out and that I can get out at any time. I don't know what was the question? I'm pretty much not okay with any of it. It's just all bad.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Anna. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We will take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to the poll results of our YouTube live chat poll today. Should Donald Trump participate in the GOP debates? Yes or no? Leave your answer, your response to that poll, and comments on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be back. Oh, and we'll find out if we got to 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. And if so, we're going the darkest shade of self-tanner for Ryan tomorrow. Anna, we're going to need some video help on this. This is going to be amazing. 6,000 subscribers. We might be very close. We'll tell you in a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
So the Air Comfort Service heating and cooling and insulation phone call that you need to make at 314-513-0091 is going to help you figure out what that problem is with your air conditioner. If you've run your air conditioner and it's not pushing the cold air throughout your house the way it's supposed to be, or if the house just isn't cooling and you've noticed we've been running that air conditioner for a while and it doesn't seem like it's cooling the way it should. It's not as comfortable in here as we thought it would be. Have Air Comfort Service come out and assess the situation. 314-513-0091. There are multiple reasons why this could be happening. Maybe you need a tune-up. Maybe you need some maintenance that's done to it. Maybe you need to replace it. That was the case for us a few years ago. It was a bummer, but Air Comfort Service came to save the day. The other thing it might be is the insulation in your home. If you're heating and cooling your house and the air is escaping through the roof of your house or the insulation that doesn't exist, they can help you with that as well. 314-513-0091 is the number to call. 314-513-0091 and get the experts at Air Comfort Service to help you out today. Online at aircomfortservice.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for their next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Or do you worry about surviving the next market crash? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free and protect your nest egg from many more losses and provide more income than most investment options? Would you like to know how linking to the market instead of owning the market is so much safer for your retirement savings? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Worldwide Technology, recognized as a great place to work for 12 years in a row, is hosting a supply chain career event on April 29th at their North American Integration Center in Edwardsville, Illinois, to connect with skilled professionals in the technology production and supply chain industries to fill dozens of roles. Positions include warehouse specialists and managers, production supervisors, configuration techs, and more. These jobs come with competitive pay, industry-leading benefits that even include your pets, and an award-winning culture with career development that gives you options to grow. Learn more and apply online at wwt.com/careers.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Mother's Day is right around the corner, and the Diamond Shop has you covered. I was hanging out with some of my friends at the Diamond Shop this past weekend, and they have beautiful, beautiful pieces there for you, and of all price ranges. Now, I'm looking right now at a text message I got from Tom, and he's showing me some of these pictures. I'm going to share them on the Andy Frey Show Facebook page, and Hannah will probably put them on our Instagram page as well. Pearl earrings, they're beautiful bracelets that you can stack. There is a beautiful bearing watch, $99, red and blue, Cardinals, blues, do what you got to do. Paper clip chains that are so pretty in different types of finishes. They're affordable. I'm talking like $100 and less. You can get something a little bit nicer as well if you were looking to spend a little extra money on mom this year or grandma this year. But when you go shop at the Diamond Shop, you are getting the best quality from a local family business that's in Clayton, Missouri. Go in and see them. Tell them Annie sent you. And remember, when you're spending this money on something, it's a gift that's going to last forever. It can become an heirloom as well. Find something that suits your budget from the best people in the business at the Diamond Shop. Become a VIP online for exclusive discounts and merchandise at thediamondshop.net.
You're listening to the Andy Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Declaration of Independence.
This is the Andy Frey Show.
Tell you that first sentence.
Follow Andy on Twitter at Andy Frey Show.
Can you imagine a song sounding just like this? But it's all liberal talking points. No. Leave it up. Leave it up. This is your next task. I want an unabashedly country, rough, beer drinking kind of guy who's only selling woke points.
Oh, you are talking my language.
I know. and I need you to talk about like a few things. Guns, beer, maybe whiskey.
Oh, if I can do this quick, I'll try to have it by tomorrow. I don't know. That's a big task. Songs are hard.
But it has to hit your ears.
Yeah.
Without listening to it. Like, that's right, America, and then you go.
But then, yeah. It's gotta draw you in
second.
before it slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like, and then it can
All
end
right.
like this.
Still cleaning this gun.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he'll perform it at the Madison County Lincoln Day dinner in his new tan.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Yes.
And get kicked out.
With my backless shirt.
Oh. Did you cut a hole out of that sweater?
Yeah. it's not done well either. There's threads hanging
No,
all over the
in
place.
fact, it looked like he was attacked and it got ripped. And he was attacked. It was by me. All right, I attacked him. Leave me alone. It was a terrible sweater. He embarrassed the family.
You
got one job.
dinner where there's a tattered up clothes. It looks like I got mauled by a bear in the parking lot.
Fake.
What
tan
happened,
line.
Ryan? Oh, this is the fashion now.
Hey, there's Charlie Arnold on Fox News right now. She was on with us yesterday.
She was on Varney today too.
Yeah, she
was here first, though.
making waves.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's here first. Maybe like 7th or 8th. Out of 12.
Well, fine.
It's what we're talking about.
What
Is
voice is that?
The Science. It's the one that's going to be in that next song. Can you do your country music
Oh
voice
my
right
gosh, I just should use that sign. Like just the phrases on the sign. We believe the science.
If you were not listening, write all these phrases down.
I gotta find that sign.
They need to all be in there. Quote Randy Weingarten.
Yes.
We wanted to base ourselves on scientific fact, but we couldn't find any, so we tried to do our best. I mean, literally, that's what she said.
I'm going to change the rules mid-river. Midstream, not mid-river. Unless I need a good rhyme.
Unless it rhymes. I mean, what Randy Weingarten had to say. Was
gonna take your money, gold digger.
Okay, here we go.
We spent every day from February on trying to get schools open. We knew that remote education was not a substitute for opening schools, but we also knew
it wasn't your priority.
That people had to be safe. And maybe it's because I live in New York City. I live near a hospital. Every other minute there was an ambulance.
Circumstantial.
There was terror. Our members were terrified. Others were terrified. And what we were simply looking for was clear scientific guidance. And when we couldn't get it,
then what?
We did it ourselves. And we worked with doctors and we worked with others, and we just...
Shush!
As if there wasn't any sort of scientific consensus. They blocked anybody who wasn't a part of the consensus. It's amazing. That is amazing.
I get more mad every time I listen to that clip.
It's just lies.
Because it's what we all knew happened. We looked for it. We looked for scientific evidence. When we couldn't find it, we did the best we could. We tried to do it ourselves.
That's great, though, that the House is putting her on record.
Yes.
That's a good thing that they're doing.
Never again. YouTube live chat poll?
YouTube live chat poll. Should Donald Trump participate in the GOP debates? Yes or no? We've all shared our thoughts.
I think we all said yes, didn't we?
Yes, yes, yes. And Hannah said yes.
I said yes.
She said, I think so.
Yeah.
Janine from YouTube says, anyone who wants to run should be involved in debates. Quick Rick says, staying out of the debate only hurts him, even if debating hurts him more. Let's see here. We have more comments. Vicky Long says, I voted no on the poll. I'm just not up for the circus that everything seems to turn into.
Vicky's just tired.
No, I'm not down for this.
She says she's not up for the circus that seems everything turns into when Trump is involved. Pretty sure his ideas, stances, and policies have not changed all that much from 2016 to 2020.
Which is ironic because Trump's ideas, stances, and policies, I'm in favor of all of them. I mean, there's not really many things that from an actual governmental in the position of the president of the United States that he did that I was like, that's a disaster.
Dan M. from YouTube says, should Trump participate? Yes. This is exactly what scares me, as he may screw up the Republicans where there's no chance to win the general.
I think there really is a case for him not participating actually maybe being better for him. I'm not saying it's good for the process, but for him in particular, it might be better if he just sits there and says, remember me? Remember how things were? That's it. Never says a thing.
Regina left a comment on her Facebook page. She said, I don't know if this is the right place to share it, but it is. She wants Donald Trump to participate in the debates. Politics have become more and more about the politicians, the administrations in office, political parties in the right and left, not so much about the people who they are supposed to be working for. So they stopped debating now too, because this might hurt his or her polling. What about the people they work for? What about the United States? The debates are for the people to see them and perform. The rest of her comment got cut off because it was pretty long, but she wants people to debate not just for themselves, but for the American people is what her comment was basically saying. Dirk says that he voted yes on the poll. I just want to hear the nicknames that Trump gives to the other challengers. You know he will give some of them.
You don't have to wait for the debate to find that out.
That's true.
Does it bother? Who does it bother in here that he refers to Ron DeSantis as Ron DeSanctus or DeSanctimonious? Does it bother you, Ryan?
That one doesn't, because I don't think it's very good.
Yeah. The only reason it bothers me is because it's so bad.
It bothers me.
I think it looks bad on Trump to be calling DeSantis names. Want to get to the poll results?
The results are... Anna, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Should Donald Trump participate in the GOP debates? Yes or no? With over 210 votes, 85% of the people said yes, Trump should participate in the GOP debates. 14% of the people say no, he should not.
Good. That is a consensus.
I like that he's saying, but on these terms, because
Well, sure.
that's you got to do
That's
that.
just good negotiating tactics.
Ooh, look at the weather coming in.
Oh, that looks more than 50%.
Does that look like I'm going to get my rain out tonight?
Looks like it.
Guys, I have a son who's got a baseball game and a daughter, a 6-year-old daughter who has a spring concert. I have to go to the spring concert. But
You get to.
I get to go to the spring concert.
I'm in the same boat. Same situation.
And I don't like to split time. I have 4 kids. It's going to happen. But if there's a rain out, then I don't have to split it.
This rain is coming up from the south.
Rain, rain, rain. Pray for rain, folks. Pray for rain for me, please. Stick around. The Mark Maroon Show up next.
From me. I'm not America's sweetheart.
Spring is a great time to get a hold of my friends at the Chesterfield Fence and Deck